Hey everyone. Hello Internet. Hello Twitch. And definitely hello Taliesin Games.
Yo,
Thank you
what
for
is going on? Thank you so much,
yeah,
TPK Roleplay, for the host. I love you
TPK
guys so
Roleplay, excuse
much.
me.
All my darlings over at TPK Roleplay are hosting us, and they're all viewing us, and I love you all so much. Hi, babies. Sorry, had to get that out of the way.
Hey. Oh, absolutely. No. Shout out to them 100%. Yeah, and welcome to Neon Lights at Night City, the actual play Cyberpunk Red game stream. Sorry. I'm bad at this. My name is Tate Washburn. I am GMing and here are my players.
What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite Fox, Young Foxy, and today I'll be playing Fox the Fixer. That's you,
And
Dion.
Dion.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll be playing Dion the media. Sorry, I'm not used to going third.
What's your name? Do you have a name that we know you by?
Oh, yeah, my name is Joe. Hi, how's it
And I
going?
work in factory.
Oh no. Well, Dan?
Oh, me? Hey, I'm Dan. I play Hook. I apologize in advance for the terrible Italian accent I will be doing this whole stream.
I'm Michelle. I play Link, the Netrunner.
All right, and so
Yeah,
just
and
a bit of a heads up. One thing I'm going to tap you guys in on before we head back in. So you guys will notice over on the sort of like the overlay of the stream, you'll notice that as you guys watch our stream, you'll be getting some sort of loyalty points. They're completely free. You don't have to pay for them or anything. They're not bits. We're not affiliate yet. But in the similar way to cheering bits, as you earn these points, you can sort of donate them and cheer them. I have a little overlay up. I'll keep track of them, allowing you to add +1 or +2 to our rolls, or even name a random NPC. So if you want to do some stuff like that in the game, feel free to donate those bits you get by those points you get by viewing. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and let's have ourselves a great time. All right. And with that, I will pass it over to our lovely master of ceremony and of the game, Tate.
yeah, so last time, as a quick recap, the power had been going out at Neon Lights and the water had been being cut off, and you ended up needing to find someone to fix that. There's like sort of a specific genre of plumber and handyman who specializes in working here in combat zones, and you met Enzo, that the chat decided was very attractive, and you brought him to a building that was supposed to be a layer of the Jigsaws, a very dangerous gang that's known for traps and torture. But there were not any Jigsaws there. There were some tactical-looking military types, and you did manage to drive them off. You only ended up killing one. You tried to de-escalate the situation. It did not go as planned. And I think where we ended last time is that you did manage to change the water and the electricity so it can't be affected from this location, this old warehouse built on top of a power, electrical, and water system plant. And but what you haven't done yet is investigated who did this. Now, I'm going to leave it up to you, the players, if you want to sort of get out of there, collect whatever data you can, and look over it later, or if you want to do a bunch of investigation right now.
I mean, I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I was a bit creeped out by the the big screens and everything all around. And I mean, having dealt with the Jigsaws before, Fox is super not in the, not feeling dealing with them or their territory any longer than he has to. So like, I'm personally a fan of like grabbing what we can and getting the hell out. But I'll defer to my friends.
And I'm personally a little bit traumatized by the Jigsaw video that I saw while hacking into there.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not hang around an area.
It's all right. You don't have to talk about it. It's okay. We're here for you.
But yeah, you can collect all the data and you can head back.
Sweet.
And it was a conversation that we sort of summarized last time, but you do sort of stay outside of Auntie Noelle's room, or I guess her apartment, while she talks to Enzo, and he is sort of given an opportunity to live here and help specifically with Neon Lights problems, and then run his operation for all of South Night City out of this building. But the last thing that you definitely need to do is he mentioned that his sort of guild is probably the only right word, although that feels sort of medieval. His it's not really a union, but kind of. His union does offer payment for bodyguards for his line of work, which you guys do qualify for. So what I would like is just to do this quickly, before so we can get onto this actual session, is for probably Foxy, but for anyone to roll me some sort of haggling skill to see how much money you can get out of this.
All right. I will happily take
Rocks.
my super special player role. I forget how that works specifically. It's I know it's a D10 plus my. Should get my character sheet up. That might be helpful, huh?
Yeah.
There we go. Boop. Pop it out. Move it over here. Cool. So I'm pretty sure for my haggle ability,
It's your
D10.
cool plus your trading skill plus your operator rank.
Sweet. So
Plus D10.
here comes the D10. Hiya. That's a 4. Could have been higher.
Okay.
But my cool is 8. My trading is well, my total bonus to trading is 4. So it's a 12 plus the 4, I guess.
Mhm.
Oh, plus the 4.
So that's 16. Yep. So that is a 20. Yeah, so instead of doing this full out, that's a pretty good roll. You kind of do this negotiation via email because they don't really have like an office for this. It's sort of like a co-op collective sort of deal. They put money into the pot to pay for this sort of thing. And you plead your case via this email. I think Enzo sort of helps you understand like these are the things that they value. You write a pretty good letter, effectively saying like, hey, we should deserve some money. There was a lot of stuff going on, and I think you each get 600 eddies for that.
Sweet money.
Nice.
So definitely mark that down.
Money.
Yeah. And yeah, that's sort of the end of the last mission, and I think there's going to be a week or so before the next one in game. So what I would like to do is have everybody roll some of the hustle rolls for your class, or your role. Excuse
Oh, I'm
me.
sorry. Can we get the how much we earned off that last mission one more time?
600 eddies.
Money. Okay, so I have 2,050 eddies now. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, how do you have some?
Well, to be fair, I budgeted pretty hard to character creation, and also I'm the guy with the money.
You know, that is fair. I'm a net runner. I'm always broke.
Don't worry, I'll
You
buy
have
you
new
all the good
stuff
stuff.
to get as a net runner.
Yeah, all your stuff's expensive. All right. So it's a D6 for the hustle, right?
Yeah, I'm just looking for the hustle rolls in here, but
At one point, someday I'm gonna make like a reference table for you. It's like which pages they are on, so I can just like.
right. I swear I had this bookmarked. It is just the
383.
worst to find.
All right.
Oh, I was
well,
right there. I do have it here. Yeah. All right. So yeah, it is a D6.
All right. I'll do mine first. Get out of the way. Here we
Sure.
go. I won.
Yeah, for Fixer, a 1. Now, honestly, it doesn't actually go up or down the higher the number. It's just
Yeah.
a sort of random table.
Yeah.
Yeah, you give a media information for a good bribe.
Sweet.
So, we're gonna say it's not Dion because that would be a little weird to
Be a little
basically
weird. Like,
Dion
hey,
pays you money.
Give me money. No, I'll say.
Well, you're not bribing a media. A media comes to you like, hey, I need money on a I need a bribe. I need information on a company. I need to know something about them.
Yeah. So remember those last session we had those students at the cafe I went up and
Yeah.
chatted with. So I'll say like randomly throughout the
Better
week,
make punk face.
I got a contact from a media friend of mine, maybe even a friend of Dion's. Maybe even Dion got the first contact, being like, hey, have you heard about this corporation I'm trying to work on, like getting some info on? Do you know a guy who might get me some dirt? Dion went like, oh yeah, I'll hit my guy up. His guy of course was me. And I went, yeah, I'll hit my guy up. And my guy was one of those students. I just called them randomly, being like, hey, what's up? Long time no see. And we just kind of like, just chatted them up for a bit. And during the chat, they gave some slight like dig of information about like the corporation they're interning for or whatever. Placed the call right back to Dion. I'm like, all right, cool. He's got this info. Dion passed it to his friend. His friend cut him a clean cut of the bribe, which went right back to me.
Yeah.
much do I
So that's 200 eddies.
2250. Papa needs a new pair of shoes.
Yeah, let's do Dion next then. Actually,
Dion.
you're muted there.
Sorry,
Good job.
I was
Is it
trying
right?
to take notes and then I quickly gave up. How much did we get from Enzo?
It was 600.
100.
Okay.
6.
In the process of getting ready to write it down, I forgot what it was. Okay.
I understand, 100%.
Be like that
All right.
sometimes, you know?
Also one.
All right,
Hey,
for the
gotta get
media.
ones out now, you know?
Yeah, because this is where it doesn't matter. For one, you wrote an expose that covered a major topic and made a big sale for 300 eddies.
Take it.
I think for story purposes, you sort of do this expose on the medical services, not necessarily the people who actually go out and pick you up. I can't remember
The
can't
trauma
remember the
team.
term for that.
Trauma team.
Yeah, so not the trauma team,
More
but
knowledge.
yeah, but there is like a central hospital over here in Upper Marina that you sort of did an expose on their management, and they're downplaying the rate of cyberpsychosis amongst the population, especially in the combat zone. They're basically just like not counting some of them. And you're doing some research into that, and you sell this expose on that subject. Anyways, so let's do links next.
If we all roll ones, I'm gonna laugh.
Of course, you have to be the one overachiever.
Okay, so you brought down a major system with ransomware and got paid off to uninstall it.
Hey, fuck Arasaka.
Yeah, I think it's definitely Arasaka doesn't technically exist here anymore, but you probably make it a personal project to know the not Arasaka subcorporations that are around.
Like the subsidiaries or whatever.
Yeah, because those still kind of exist, just sort of shuffled around under other companies. And yeah, you find specifically one that operates out of the Glen, and you effectively mess up their entire communication system. You're like, you don't get no calls now, and they pay you to get it out because they just do not have the time or the resources for another hacker to figure out what the hell you did.
Of course.
All right, then yeah, let's do Huckabee.
Oops.
Isn't that the same one I got last time?
I'm not seeing the.
Hit a
You
five.
got
Oh, there's
no.
two.
Wait. Hold up. Where is it? I don't see it.
I don't see the dice on the
Yeah.
field, but I do see on the.
Oh, in the chat. Well, whatever. It's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says two. So you sold cyberware from a failed medical case. I believe you'd had this last time, but I think effectively you did take out like there was. Yeah, you
I
didn't take
chopped
out.
people last time.
Well, but like yeah, nobody died in this one, but
Oh.
no, one guy did die. There was a.
Yeah, didn't
There was a tactical guy that you guys took out, or like you guys took hostage, and then they shot to try and get at Foxy
Yeah.
because they didn't care. And I think that the cyberware he mostly had is sort of this tactical neural implant that ups his perception and creates a heads-up display through his cyber eyes. So you do manage to repurpose that as a failed medical thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think also sort of throughout your week is you do other little tweaks to people's cyberware and you make sure it's installed correctly. They're just not enough for the, and that all sort of goes into the 200 eddies that you make this month or this week. But one of the things I think you notice is that a lot this week, in a similar fashion to what Dion researches, is you see a lot more people suffering from cyberpsychosis. And a thing I would like you to do is roll, I would say probably human perception for this, but it's effectively your knowledge of what cyberpsychosis really is. So this could be like a medical roll, possibly.
Okay, just let me check my stuff. I guess I'll roll a human perception.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
Sweet. So my base human perception is 2, and so for the total is 8, so 16 in total.
Yeah, 16. Yeah, I think that this is really more of a roll over your like whole career, because the official like medical knowledge is, oh, cyberpsychosis is you replace functioning parts of your body on purpose with things that aren't a normal function, and that sort of exacerbates whatever disassociation you might have, is the official knowledge now. I think the thing that you really know, and it's sort of the unspoken truth of this medical industry, is like way more people suffer from it than you'd actually think. They just don't label it cyberpsychosis as like a disorder, unless those base things that they succumb to happen to be dangerous to themselves or others. you're like, oh yeah, actually, a lot of people are slowly disassociating from their own bodies, partially due to not even the cyber, but just like the world you live in now that is quite, yeah, violent and dangerous, and you have to basically sell your soul to a corporation if you want safety. All of those things contribute to that. So you're aware that it's like a lot more, but even knowing that, you are noticing a small uptick in people coming for extra little hits of therapy. I think that you mostly have like a VR machine for that,
Hmm.
and some of the medication is part of your uh, doctorate practice. And it's one of the hand wavy things we're doing because you do a lot of this work at like significantly cheaper than a hospital. Uh, you don't make money from those treatments unless you roll for the hustle because you are putting it all back into the materials it takes.
Yeah.
And but anyways, that's sort of what happens during the week, and it's probably while you have somebody in the therapy tank. Effectively, they're in like a seat in your sort of garage that has become an office. You hear the sort of door opening bell from the front room, and I assume you go check it.
Yes.
Yeah. So you were expecting a customer, and actually, who you end up seeing is your aunt. Her name is Rachel, and she, you know, of anything else about her, she really doesn't like you.
Shazia. Come here.
She's looking down her nose at like this location because it's pretty new. It's like, I always figured you would end up in a place this, and she like runs her finger across the desk.
I take it you've
Unclean.
come to see me for a new heart? These artificial ones work great, I could tell you.
Uh, she's very much not amused, even if I am. And no, I don't need any of your back alley surgery. Uh, I've come on behalf of the company. And she sort
Ah,
of waits to
enjoy.
be taken to somewhere private, you know.
Oh, sorry. Just
Yeah.
real quick. Is Huck's not around us right now, right? Like we're all. This is all like.
Oh no, he's in his office.
Bet. Just wondering. Do your thing.
Yeah.
Very well. Come with me. We can talk in my office.
Yeah. So you do have like a little side office for a lot of your papers and stuff that is separate from the garage that you do surgery in or your own quarters. And your room isn't in like the main L of apartments. There's just this like little used to be an auto mechanic store just south of that, like right next door that you use.
All right.
But anyways, you take that in there and she seems to check around. I think you, knowing cyberware well, can see like her eyes sparkle a little bit and she's probably checking for bugs. And
Are those
she
two eyes you have?
they
Rest assured, we are safe here.
Mm. This is going to be somewhat delicate matter that you'll be doing for Rocklin Augmatics.
Good idea coming to a surgeon then.
It's not about what's on me. It's about what's out there, and she gestures. And Rocklin,
What?
as you know, makes a lot of prototypes that are not really meant for public consumption. They are tested away from the public, so no one unnecessary gets hurt. Unfortunately,
Where is he?
unfortunately, someone has stolen it. Stolen a new one. A quite dangerous one.
Dangerous
And,
how?
we believe that it's too much power to have in a single limb. It tends to generate a massive amount of electricity separate of the body that normally would run it. And it can be repurposed for military grade weaponry and really is not a piece of cyberware one should wear too often. We think it will exacerbate things like cyberpsychosis, especially, but also eventually break down the rest of the cyber in the body if it is not properly grounded.
I see.
The
And
problem
what does
being is,
Rocklin want with me then?
well, normally we would put out some sort of bounty for anyone to turn in to bring our property back to us. However, this particular piece may be embarrassing for us if the public found out, especially here in Night City where we believe it's ended up. where, as you may be aware, the council that runs the city is less friendly to corporations than they've been in the past. It could become a problem for us, and problems are what I prevent.
And so you need someone to retrieve it discreetly.
You are not my first choice, and she is again looking around at your not as nice office as hers, you assume. But I can visit you without being suspicious, and I hear you have friends who may be good at the finding and returning of certain things. So
They do
we
have
are giving you a week. Hmm?
What was a
She's such a
No,
bitch.
I
She's
missed
so
what you said,
mean.
Dan. You should all know that there's a mechanic that I love in this system that you roll for enemies, and Huckabee has an enemy that is related to them, and the only thing they want to do is insult him constantly. It's my favorite thing. It's the best. But anyways, I missed what Huckabee just said.
I forgot what we were just talking about.
She said, well, I hear your friends are very good at finding things and returning them.
It's more
They
like
do
shooting
have their
people and
skills,
taking them, but you know.
So
Maybe
I am
for-
giving you and your friends a chance to turn in the bounty that we would offer normally 2 weeks in advance.
And how much is this bounty?
Standard for this sort of thing is 4,000 eddies to be split however you would like.
Well, as loath as I am to help Rocklin with anything, I cannot ignore this.
I also believe, because you would be helping me if you do this before the bounty is made public, that I can negotiate a reduction of your parents' debt.
You really know how to persuade a man. You know that, Sia? Very
If
well.
you don't,
We'll
I
speak
will
with-
definitely ask for them to increase the interest.
And they are your family too, you know. I wonder how your friends at the country club would react to hearing about your family members and their steep debt. Must make for some interesting brunch conversation, no?
She definitely eye twitched just a little, and we tend not to talk about anyone who doesn't have the privilege of living in an executive zone. And I try not to
Suppose you
think
would know
about
all
anyone
about
like that.
privilege, now wouldn't you, Zia?
She is a little more tight-lipped. Like, if you manage this job, you may be allowed others in the future. You just need to find our offices in the Upper Marina district and return it before the bounty becomes live.
Very well. I'm sure your offices will not be too hard to find. I just need to look for the, how do you say, ivory tower?
Yeah, she does just disapproval. I assume I'll be seeing you. And then she walks off and out of your office and out of the place. You can see she like starts wiping her hands with the cloth as she leaves.
Cause you
Out of your
dirty.
sheet.
I'm sorry, that's not necessary. I apologize.
Okay.
But yeah, I think now Huckabee has a choice as to how he goes about this. But that is, the gauntlet has been thrown.
Huck's got a job.
What if I was just like, I keep this to myself and we don't do it?
I don't tell anybody and we move on with our day.
Then I roll some hustle rolls and we see what happens. You can do what
We
you
end
want.
the stream.
No,
All right, good session, everybody.
Good session, dudes. Later.
no, I absolutely know what would happen if you didn't do that. But you know, you can do what you want, man.
Would it involve us
Oh,
getting
no,
shot
that
at?
sounds like-
I feel like it involves us getting shot at.
All right. How often does this whole crew like see each other on a normal basis?
Well, you guys live in pretty close proximity, and there's like no kitchen in any of your living spaces. You all use sort of the gas station in the L of the apartment complex. Here, I'm gonna make sure that this is pretty cleaned up first, but I'm gonna move you guys to the
I
the
mean,
map.
Fox doesn't spend a whole lot of time at home. He's usually, he's kind of person that gets up and gets on the move. Goes out to make his moves out the day. If Fox is, let's put it this way: if Fox is at Neon Lights, he's either eating or in his room and possibly preoccupied.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, so we
if
have
you
this.
my agent, you can just hit me up, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dion is the opposite, where he spends pretty much all of his time at home and goes out as rarely as possible.
But yeah, so this is sort of the big layout. You might have to zoom out to see the whole thing.
Big.
And we have like that L shape is where most of you guys are staying, including all of Elijah's construction crew and him as well. I think Doc, you sort of live down here in this lower building. If you can see that I'm pinging.
Yep.
It's very. Sorry, can you ping it again?
It's down at the bottom left. You kind of have to zoom all the way out.
Let me zoom out so the people at home can see it too. There you go.
I actually don't see it. I
Oh,
see
wait.
the.
Are we
thing,
all
but-
at home?
Oh,
Technically?
there it is.
Whatever.
Hey, what?
I said let me
Yeah,
zoom
it's-
out so the people at home can see it. Then I'm like, wait, aren't we all at home?
Yeah.
If you're streaming this at work, good for you. But be careful.
Egg, no one can match me in volume. That's my curse.
Ah, that's fair.
I
yeah,
talk
no,
too
I
loud.
have Tate set the priority speaker on Discord. That's why he naturally comes out loud in all of us, so he can like talk over us if needed.
Yeah.
All right.
But anyways, so yeah, this is and the bigger map. You sort of live down here in the bottom left, if you can see that.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. So you have your whole offices set up here. I think it's this room on the top that is where your actual office is, and I haven't really set up furniture there yet. You got your bathrooms that you share with your that like this is the public bathrooms for the office, and then you have your own in the back. But anyways,
All right.
so yeah, you live close by, and the gas station on the top left, is the only place one can make food.
Stop. Everyone say hi to Ollie.
Hi,
Ollie.
Ollie.
Hey, Ollie.
All right, we're good. Resume.
All right. But yeah, so you do have to kind of eat together, I guess, if you're ever having meals at the same time. So you do see each other somewhat often.
I guess it's a question of
Eat
like where we are right
Booze
now, huh?
infused tea, damn it.
Yeah, well, that depends. Like, I think that, yeah, Huckabee, your aunt comes in probably in the middle of the day, and it's like in the middle of a week.
All right.
It's been a week since your last thing, so it's, whatever your timing of when you want to tell them is, you have 14 days.
So
Okay.
I would say if you want to determine when you tell us, and then I'll just figure out where Fox would be at that time, so you can figure out how you want to tell him.
Well, I'd probably I would use since I have everyone's agent, I'd probably use it to say urgent urgent meeting.
Why
or,
you telling us? You should do it. You should just call us individually, one at a time, on our agents.
I think he says he's sending a message just to tell you, hey, we need to meet.
I mean,
No,
hey,
so that he can tell you in person while you're all there at once.
I can
All right,
tell you in person.
Okay, well,
Someone's gonna have to
all right.
pick
So
me
what
up, I'm
time
not an
does the message go out? Like what time of the day?
Probably shortly after Rachel leaves.
All right,
So
like
Yeah, it's
like
the middle of the
1
day, and we'll
PM,
say it's a
2?
Thursday.
All right, cool.
Yeah, 1 o'clock.
So I'm a roll a d10, and on a 5 or higher, I'm not currently preoccupied. A 3. Fox is currently a little preoccupied. He's not exactly. I know my agent's built into my brain and everything, but I kind of have a sort of function when I'm busy to not be distracted by notifications from my agent. So I'm a little preoccupied with a certain somebody. But as soon as I'm done with that, I'll so like an hour or so later, I'll like just message back, be like, my bad, was busy on my way.
have to pick me up because I'm currently neck deep in a program and I do not own an agent.
Do you think that his agent can still send you a message on your more standard phone?
Yeah, it's like a super iPhone. He can just like somehow get it to you.
All right. Well, guess it's Huck. So let me just save this program, and sounds like I'm gonna need lots of booze. Where's the tea?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm sure that you have started slowly amassing a supply of tea for specifically this sort of thing.
Yeah, I hop up and I tell the person I'm with just like, sorry babe, gotta bounce, friend needs me. And like I've used that excuse like 4 different times the past month. So she's like, yeah, okay, right. Which friend this time? And I'm like, no, for real, look. Like, but I can't show her because my agent's in my head, so I can't like pull out like a phone and show her the text. I just
Yeah,
kept
for a
like,
second you
I'm
forget
trying
telling
to
the
your
truth
screen
this
is
time.
AR.
He needs me. You gotta believe me.
I was lying the other times, but this time it's real.
Just look at her like,
You forget
would
that
I
the
lie to
screen
you?
for the message is AR and you're pointing at air.
Yeah, just like, would I lie to you?
Just pointing like at your
Yes,
eye.
undoubtedly. But
Yeah, I think it's probably like 2, 3. It's starting to get in the afternoon by the time you guys meet all here, and I assume the you guys are just gonna meet in the gas station where
Yeah.
you have your meals.
I'll probably be last. I'm guessing just by virtue of like, again, I was preoccupied.
So how does Dion react to the call for a meeting?
I mean, he's pretty grumpy in general. I mean, he's still gonna go, but he's not gonna be happy about it.
He's like, I guess I'll put away this research. I was writing something real good. I was in a groove, whatever.
Solid.
I mean, I don't know. He could have just been relaxing. Like, he's not super proactive when it comes to things outside of like a lead. I mean, he's proactive, but he's not living every single second for it.
He was in the middle of a very
Actually,
solid
brings
sesh.
up part of your classes. You can roll investigation passive once per week that you're off, so you can roll that for this last week if you'd like.
Sure, I will do that. Sorry.
It's a 1d10 plus whatever relevant stat that you want to use, whether you're searching on the internet or just while you're out and about and listening to people, would be like human perception, or if you're talking to people specifically.
All right, I will use. Wait, is human perception different from regular perception?
Yeah, regular perception, I believe, is
It's its own stat.
like what you see in the environment, where human perception is understanding people's intentions.
Okay, so that's a 12 with the skill plus a stat. So
Emily wants to fuck with us using by giving EBs. I hate that I'm encouraging it, but I have to.
Oh, it's a 16, by the way. I don't know if you.
16. All right. Yeah, just I either have the chat up or I have the book up. So I mean, I either have the stream up or I have the book up. I do have chat up all the time. So I do need someone to tell me if there's pluses or minuses to these rolls.
I have the overlay up, so I'll know whenever it happens.
Yeah, okay. Anyways, so yeah, with the 16, you get a detailed rumor. It can be about anything that you are currently researching. Just tell me what it is you're looking into.
Well, I heard that. What was the augmentation? Was it
Rocklin Aug?
Oh, it was Rocklin. Okay. Man, it's tough.
I'm not sure. The augmentation for what?
Oh no, that it was Rocklin augmentation. I was thinking of a specific corporation. I don't know. Maybe I heard a rumor about them. That would be kind of apt.
Okay. I know that you've just sort of because you're past, because you were like a science experiment for a lot of your life. You do look into a lot of corporations that have been rumored to do human experimentation. So this is also one of those companies. Yeah, I think a very detailed rumor is that there is a current like uptick in people really wanting Oglin tech, especially like black market stuff, because they're so free and loose with how they design their stuff. They don't have as many safeties in it. They do stuff that's super artistic but also super functional and durable. And especially several of the Deck gang, they're like an offshoot of the Mafia that decided to be card themed because they had to be something ostentatious to not look like the Mafia. Them, and then the Golden Agers, a bunch of gangster types that fashion themselves after superheroes. They are really interested in finding extremely powerful augmentations for their various events.
Okay.
Events is a word.
And yeah, events. I don't know, like everything. And they may be having a night market soon, and you don't know how to find those, but you know that Foxy does. So you know that they're going to be selling Rocklin stuff pretty quickly, especially some stuff that is probably not on the up and up, not the kind of stuff that they would normally sell.
Yeah. Okay. All right, that sounds good.
All right, so I assume we're now at the point where we're all meeting up.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, Fox just kind of like swaggers his way in after you three. You're like, maybe like, no, I'm not like super late. It's like a good like I don't know, 20 or so. Ollie redeemed a +2, by the way.
On who?
I gotta
Sabotaging.
see for what person. I haven't gotten notification yet. I'm sure it'll pop up soon.
I would assume Joe, I guess.
Maybe. Who knows?
Foxy.
I'll figure it out later. Give me a second. I'm on it. Don't worry though. I'm
Don't mind
on it.
me, I'm
Don't
gonna
you
drown
worry.
myself
Just know that
in
I'm on it. But anyway,
tea.
so yeah, Fox will kind of just like swagger up, maybe like an hour's, like not like an hour, like 20 or so minutes after you guys are all there. See you guys all sitting there eating. Kind of just walk in, bit of a yawn. Just, what's up, gang? Am I late?
Yes. But at least you're here.
And fashionable. So what are we doing?
Yep.
I will have you know I was
I-
involved in some very, very important business before you called me here, so I'd recommend this involves some money or something equally important.
Well, then I have some good news for you because it involves both.
Ah, fantastic.
I have a job for us. You are familiar, I trust, with Rocklin Dogmatics.
Another dumb MedCorp, right? Yeah, what's so special about him?
Well, a representative from them paid me a visit today. And it turns out we've developed enough of a reputation for ourselves that they would like to hire us for a job.
Need me to sweep your place for bugs?
I would appreciate it, yes.
On it.
Oh yeah,
Um,
not a bad idea. She have to roll for that?
Oh, you can do that right now? I assume this was after the conversation.
I'll do it after the conversation.
Unless you're sweeping this room you're in now, then yeah, there would be some kind of roll for that.
Yeah, no, I think we're solid. I'll say. So Rocklin lost their hands on a toy and wants us to get it back for him, huh? I'm assuming there has to be a catch.
They require discretion.
Discretion costs more.
And well, how would 4,000 eddies cover the fee?
Can't say that sounds too bad. Humor me though, Fox says, and kind of like leans back a bit. Leans back a bit of wherever he's sitting at. Assuming he's like gone just like purchase some sloppy junk food and like a drink and just like sitting down and it's just like, humor me though. You know a lot
Like
about
the Cheeto dust version of kibble.
yeah, just like just like you know a lot about med stuff. What's this prototyping? Why is it so important that they need to find us?
Well, based on the intel I was given, it is it is too powerful for the average person. So powerful, in fact, that it increases the how do I put this? It increases the instance of cyberpsychosis in the user. And I don't know about you, Signor Volpe, but that has been becoming. I've noticed that has been becoming more and more of a problem in Night City recently.
Yeah, I know some junkies will come and get a couple drugs off of me to deal with their psychosis every now and then. It's cheaper than therapy, and I have been getting a few more sales off of that.
Well, it's funny you should say that. I've been getting quite a lot of requests for therapy.
So you're saying we should do a thing that lowers our own business?
In the meantime, we get 4,000 eddies. I'd say that's a fair trade-off.
The things I could do with 4,000 eddies. Huh. Well, the sad thing is, as much as I want to make a call on this, I can't do that without knowing more about this prototype. And the best way to do that is to go find it. So, I say we take the gig, find the prototype, and decide what to do with it after we find it.
Just so I was clear in that conversation that your aunt had with you, it also does have its own like self-regenerating power supply, so you could run some like heavy machinery off of it.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, sorry, it has its own power supply, and if you don't have your cyberware like properly grounded and shielded from that, it will kind of fry it eventually. But you can do a lot more with that cyberware. You could modify it to really pack a punch in ways that normally you can't.
We don't want any of these gangs to get their hands on it.
That's a fair point. I hadn't thought about that.
I mean, you definitely don't want, say, a Ripper Gang or the Jigsaws to, because they will 100% use it to hurt people. Some of the other gangs are more reasonable. I mean, even the Golden Agers, as much as they're obsessed with a very specific aesthetic, they're not as likely to come and just like wreck your shit for no reason.
Huh.
It still is going to be dangerous to them, especially if all that power happens to turn someone into a violent cyberpsychotic, like not just someone who is disassociating from themselves, but someone who's actually violent could be a problem.
That is probably the angle I should have taken. This
Okay.
persuasion.
I was not clear.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I mean, solid. I can, I'll take so with that knowledge of like, that it could be used for like, military tech or whatever, Foxy will, or Fox is definitely not so much saying it out loud, but thinking in his head, just like, yeah, I'm sure someone will pay a pretty good penny for that.
We're concerned about the, well, we did run into a military operation.
That's
that
certainly
was,
true. But more
so,
importantly, what I'm curious about is why they want us to be so discreet about it. I'm sure a corp like Rocklin could could just put a bounty out for whatever prototype they lost.
Supposedly they do not want the public knowing about this prototype.
They want us to snag it before the bounty goes live?
Yes. Why they came to ask for help from a crew that involves the media is beyond me, but
who cares about that? The important thing
is
they want time sensitivity and discretion, and you didn't tax them.
I am a doctor, Signor Volpo, not a businessman.
Yeah, we'll fix that when I see them. Anyway, all right. Prototype to find, money to make. What else is new?
The negotiations to you,
Yeah. Anyway, shit to find, money to make. Let's get moving, huh? They give you any leads on where to go?
Only at the Night City.
Yeah. Of fucking course.
All right. You expect these corporals to be useful?
You know what that means, kids? Time to start looking around for a bit. I would say one of us hit the net, one of us hit the streets, the other one do whatever else we can.
First, I'd like to sweep Huck's office a little bit.
That'll be a security check, I believe.
All right. So I will be rolling for security tech, yes?
Mm-hmm.
All right, that is a stat roll plus 6, I believe. And we're going for tech.
Boom!
24, holy.
Wow.
There's the number!
Yeah, so you do find some stuff just, I imagine using your deck, because it's a tech roll, to just like ping and search for anything that might be able to record and store data of various kinds. You find several pieces of defunct technology that, like, they're not working anymore in a garbage can in his sort of operating room. It seems like people had bugs in their cyberware that he had to remove at least once or twice in the last few weeks. That's not super uncommon. People often will take bad deals with a corporation or the government to get nicer cyber, but it'll almost always come with bugs or like fail safes of some kind.
Right.
Oh,
I think Doc gets business to remove that more often than you'd think. Oh, sorry, Dion.
Oh, you're good. So Dion's been sitting there pretty quietly the whole time, but when he hears about discretion, he says, "So how far exactly are they willing to go for the discretion? After we've outlived our usefulness to them, would they be willing to keep it discreet at all costs?"
We are talking about corpse here.
We cannot rule out the possibility.
Because the second thing they care about after money is image.
Yes,
like your aunt is especially. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But then again, that might be a thing we can play to our advantage, huh?
How would that be?
Hear me out on this. We get our hands on this prototype in whatever means we can. Keep it on the low for now, at least, to play their cards. We get our hands on it, pull up in front of whoever this lady is, and before we give it to her, ask how much she wants to pay to keep the story quiet.
Couldn't that also agitate them?
I mean, yeah, but do they want to risk pissing us off if we have their precious prototype?
I mean,
as
soon as they see it.
Listen, I'm a businessman. I make business moves, all right?
I do think that, Dion, you would be able to roll I don't know what it would be, if it's like your previous research or also human perception or something that equivalent to try and gauge like how likely is Rocklin to off us if we piss them off too
What's
much.
this scale of 1 to 10? How likely are we to get popped?
But I'm not exactly sure what skill that would be. If you have a suggestion of amongst your skills you're good at, I'd be open to hearing it.
Let me take a look. I guess human perception wouldn't really work because that's like, there's nobody to perceive. But
Yeah, but it is also your understanding of their motivations from just the research you've done on at least the people in their organization.
would
So
library
I would allow it.
search or language street
Hmm.
slang?
I would say library search if we're flavoring it as like you were looking for instances of them being accused of assassinating people to keep them quiet, effectively.
Okay. You know what? I just looked at my skill number and then I forgot it right after.
Yeah.
I think I remember. Yeah, I had it right. I just want to make sure.
Be like that sometimes.
I don't want to cheat. Did it roll twice?
I only saw it once.
I only saw it once.
Huh. It's showing up twice in the chat. Or maybe I also rolled something that was a plus 12 with the same number. Huh.
It did, yeah, you did do a previous roll, and it is the same number. That was your investigation.
Oh, okay, cool.
Your passive investigation. This is this. So yeah, you do take some time. We'll even say this is during the last week because you have been researching them recently. You are pretty sure that at least they don't normally just pay to assassinate someone if that person isn't directly like trying to out them. If you stay quiet, they tend to leave you alone. And even then, it depends on how bad the out is. Like, there is definitely a media that you have heard of that died under mysterious circumstances, definitely due to some sort of, while they were researching Rocklin, and the story they supposedly had was going to just, like, shake the very foundations of their entire corporation. It was some dirt on their, like, CEO, like, actively trying to do something, and you're not sure, and that's the point of the assassination, but there's, like, one instance, and it was someone who you assume could not be paid off.
Okay, so they're going to try to negotiate first.
And that is the only information I needed to hear.
Yes, it's pretty unsustainable to kill everybody who works for you.
Yeah, sounds like it wouldn't be a good way to hold, worker productivity. It's not like you get pretty high job turnaround,
So you get away with
and yeah, I think Huckabee, you'd be very familiar with just their general operation is to bury and discredit someone before having to assassinate them.
Solid.
So then does that extend to we would not necessarily have to worry about people coming after us after we finish the job? Assuming we don't try and stir shit up further.
Yeah, that's kind of the assumption is like if you just bring it and give it to them and you don't threaten to like out them and you're not even sure that the dirt you have is going to be the kind of stuff that they would assassinate you over even if you shared it. If you shared it, they would definitely try and bury you legally or start propaganda to make it seem like you guys are super dishonest or whatever, but probably not death based on the technology you know of.
And as much as I like the idea of doing so, I'm not really in a position where I want to piss them off.
All right.
So just getting back really quick to Lynx's check, you do find exactly one piece of functioning bugware. I think the fun part is that it is actually shaped like a bug, and it's in the garbage can up near the front desk, and it's pretty new. You find it, and I don't know, you can squish it, you can keep it in a jar, it's whatever you want.
Track it.
Oh, I am going to put it in a jar and keep it for now. It might be useful later.
I do remember somebody gets a +2 at some point.
Oh, yeah. So
everyone
gave
except
it to
me,
anyone
apparently.
but Dan, which I don't think is necessarily how that works.
You better have 3 more payments worth of +2s.
But,
bug.
All right. So, what was I gonna say? Oh, do we see Michelle or do we see Lynx grab this this bug?
If you followed her to the office, but this is other sides of the parking lot, effectively.
Well, in which case, nah, I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna chill at the parking lot while they split up to go do that. I guess I'll probably put a call out or two, see if anybody's heard about any weird Rocklin things going around. Any rumblings about Rocklin?
Yeah,
It's like another
I
person I
think
call
that
for, like,
you're.
all my gossip, you know?
Yeah. I think that you have some skill as part of your role that lets you do that.
I'm on it. I will find out.
Mhm. So I'm just gonna sidle up to Huck and discreetly pass him the jar.
Drega.
Just don't say anything. Just here.
I think Huck is familiar enough with general technology stuff to know exactly what it is.
Yeah. Grazie, I'd say.
Yeah, I think so. You do have a contacts feature as to who you can get a hold of.
Yep.
So if you want to describe to me who your information guy is, I will let you ask them for stuff.
All right, let me see. Okay, so because I'm rank 4 in operator, my contacts include up to, let's see, city gang honchos, minor politicians, corp execs, and well-known person in the neighborhood. All right.
Mm-hmm.
What's the up or down on me maybe knowing like I don't know, like a guy in Rocklin who maybe might have a little bit of information on how this prototype got out, but who maybe it doesn't want to get public about it because like maybe they're responsible or something, you know?
Yeah, okay. So you're not as familiar with Huck's aunt and her like job,
Obviously.
but you do know like the guy who's pretty much the head of the local branch.
Word.
At least I think because of your job, he's head of like logistics and operations.
All right. Time to do my thing.
Not like, so yeah, you can definitely contact him. Do you or chat have a name that this guy should have?
All right, chat. So I'm reaching out to a guy who is the head of the local branch of a health like a health and tech corporation. Give me a name. Let's go, chat. Give me a name.
It's mostly a cyberware company, to be honest.
Yeah, he's a cyberware company. Come on, chat. Give me a name. Don't waste my time right now, chat. I will sit here and I will wait until I get a name from chat. That's a chicken nugget, Emily. That's
his
not a
name
name.
is
Chicken nugget.
Nug.
Okay, his nickname can definitely be Nug if we want it to be.
Nickname being Nug. John Stadia works perfectly, except it doesn't actually, Dan. I hate you.
John Walters.
All right, thank you, Ollie. Ollie does something helpful. John Walters III, also known as Nug. Got it. So
Okay.
I'm pop open the old, I guess like not even pop open,
So,
but AR.
yeah, we're gonna use the I know a guy feature for this then, and so you got to roll some sort of social check to decide how much he likes you.
You know exactly how this goes. I'm gonna roll that thing you just said I gotta roll. Once I get my character sheet back up, which doesn't currently exist, but I'm working on that. Just a moment. Don't y'all look at
under social skills, there's bribery, conversation, human perception, interrogation, persuasion.
What's the best one to do here, you know?
Yeah.
Oh. And I want it.
And I think I'm going to allow basically any of these social ones, but the one you use will flavor how they feel about you.
Always like turns out I slept with them before.
If you do wardrobe and style, then they're literally a dude you've just met shopping for clothes that you like complimented each other's clothing and a relationship formed from there.
I'm gonna go with, you know what? I'm gonna go with Streetwise and try to do it as like I'm like his dealer because I'm sure it's corpos are always in some weird
I'm down with that. So yeah, you've definitely met him just living in the area. I think he probably lives in the Glen.
Yeah, I probably sold him some weird drugs a couple times every now and then, you know. All right, so let me give him. All right, let me give that roll. Here we go. Hiya. I don't know why I rolled 3, but the answer. Oh right, because of the thing we didn't fix or that we can't fix. But the answer is 22 in total.
All right, 22. For chat, roll 20 is having a hard time deciding how to deal with the advantage, disadvantage, critical, not critical of Cyberpunk. So 3 dice will appear on screen. It's fine. Anyway, so 22. So yeah, he likes you a lot. I think that because sort of your specialty is not just cannabis, but like also you find there's not a lot of tobacco, but there's a lot of synth tobacco. So it's like that specific combination. And I think maybe actually that specific combination is really good for like the aching feeling after you've gotten new cyberware. Like before your body gets used to it, it really helps deal with that. And so as a guy who runs a company or helps run a company that does cyberware, and just the corporate culture of Rocklin is that you're not taken seriously unless you get the most stylish cyberware and keep updating it a lot. So this guy has some real fly-looking stuff. He's got like honeycombed gold platinum arm stuff going on at times, or
Fancy.
he's got like legs that can switch between regular and digigrade if he needs to like run real fast. But he never does. It just looks cool to flash it around. Stuff like that.
Just likes to have the option.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm gonna leave it up to you with that high of a roll. Have you seduced this man?
I mean, I can't sleep with a corpo. I'm sorry, I refuse.
It's entirely fair. You have kept a professional, friendly distance, but he doesn't know that you're keeping a distance. He thinks that you guys are best bros, like that thing where a guy thinks
like
his
my,
weed dealer
like,
is
oh
like,
my god, it's my main man. And I'm like, this fucking dude. All right. Time to roleplay. Here we go. All right.
I'm actually just gonna roll 1d6 real quick because I want to do a thing.
You got it. All right. Okay. So
he's pretty awkward. He's pretty awkward and like not streetwise at all.
Bet.
So he's what's the thing from it was one of the which game was that? From one of the Grand Theft Autos. What up, my N-word? And then like fall over a fence.
The
He's
kid's
that
son.
guy.
God, he's so funny. All right. So
Yeah,
So,
anyways.
So I drop open, pop. I guess not even pop open. I don't know why I keep doing this, but my agent's literally in my head. But I guess AR relay.
Maybe you
You know,
make a
agent.
gesture for it to start up. You're just like,
Yeah, just scrolling through some, or not even that. I just hit up Cat. I'm just like, yo, Cat, you feel like giving Nug a call real quick? I gotta bother him about something.
absolutely, sir. Cat is very professional.
Yeah. So,
Fox, Lynx, and Cat.
bitter ringing for a bit, I'm guessing, and then I hope I get an answer at some point.
Yeah, it doesn't take super long. This is in the middle of the day,
Right.
but it's getting a little later. You hear the sounds of like a little bit of office work in the background as Nug answers. He's like, Fox, my man, what's going on?
Nug, my
What's
favorite
happening?
customer. Been a little bit
Absolutely.
busy, buddy. I hadn't seen you in a while. I wanted to make sure you still had your fixes and everything. Anything I can do for you while I'm around?
Yeah, no, I think I'm probably gonna be good on stuff until like a week from now. You know me, it's self-medication and all that.
Hey, man, you know where to find me when it's time to find me. That's actually not particularly why I hit you up, though.
Okay, yeah, what can I do for you, man?
You see, I happen to be, I don't know, you could say helping a friend of mine get his hands on a little something that might be a little under the radar. So I'm hitting up anybody who I know might have, I guess, let's say their hands in the cookie jar when it comes to the cybertech core.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't happen to know about anything Rocklin maybe misplaced recently? Any chance?
Yeah. You can't see him because he, likes to do it's not installed in his head. It's actually like an agent sound thing installed in his hand. He thinks it's more stylish.
Of course.
You think it's dorky, but you can almost see, you can like hear his hand to face be like, look around to make sure no one can hear. You hear a door close and the office sounds go away a bit. He's like, well, I mean, because you're a friend. Between you and me, we get prototypes lost. You can hear the air quotes, lost all the time just to sort of see what they'll do. It's not really my department, but I do have to deal with it because every time that happens, I have to budget them putting up a bounty to get it back and then get my PR guys to do an apology. It's kind of annoying. And some of them just don't want anyone to know that it's ever gone, but then you got to pay an operator and you got to make sure they're quiet. And you have to worry about them outing you anyways. It's a whole PR mess. I personally just like to do the bounty and deal with it afterwards.
Sounds like a lot of work. Speaking of which, you wouldn't happen to. So I mean, I gotta say that sounds pretty wild. If you like, you wouldn't have to think of anything like particularly wild you might be having to work on right now. I don't want to keep you busy. So you have anything like super crazy you might have popping up recently? I don't want to keep you too busy,
Well, generally the prototypes we send out are just like a material thing, like, hey, is it possible to use this metal alloy in someone without causing a bunch of allergic reactions, a lot of rashes and stuff. But I hear they're having us draft up something, like a real big apology for something that's powerful. Honestly, they can just tell us write an apology and tell us how bad it is. The way that we have to write them, and we have to have the PR guys write them, they're pretty general and you don't actually admit to anything. So I don't even know what it is they've lost, but supposedly there's something big coming in.
Wow.
And they've already told us to be blaming the cards, I think. The deck, that one. You know the one.
Yeah, I know them all right.
Yeah, they are stylish. Gotta give them that. But anyways, we're supposed to be mad at them. I'll bet that I bet that they paid some nomad group to steal it midway between, Texas and here, where we make them, and who knows. So
All right.
I would look there, personally.
All right. I can take a couple of looks. See, the last thing I'll ask you, if you don't mind, before I let you get back to your, I'm
Mhm.
sure, insanely
Yeah.
busy day. That PR apology you said you were drafting up. There
Mhm.
anything, I don't know, incriminating in that? I know a guy who might be in the media business and might be able to cut you a clean little take of a bribe if you can get it to me.
The way that they have
Yeah.
us write them, they don't admit to anything incriminating. But if you got someone who, if you find some dirt on any of my higher ups, I'm always ready to get a favor or two from them to keep something hidden, if you know what I mean.
Nug will notice, like, after like a brief moment of silence, Nug will kind of like notice like a ping of like a new message from me on his agent.
Yeah.
And I'd say, "That's my media guy. You get it. Don't call him, but if he gets a call from you, get a call from him or any information from him. It's Simka."
Just because you did roll so well on like the streetwise, you know that it's actually pretty easy to get this guy to admit to something bad, and you've never blackmailed him because you don't want to ruin it. But like, it'd be pretty easy to blackmail this guy, like extremely easy.
Oh, so I guess as the call ends, I'll just go. So I'll be like, "Well, all right, my main man. I'm gonna get on out of here, get back to some work, and let you do the same." Oh, one last little thing. This stays between us, right?
Oh yeah, I wouldn't want anyone to take away my street contacts. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
I can't let
you
someone
wouldn't
try
let
and
your,
dig out from under me.
higher ups to know about the illicit street drugs you would take in every now and then, huh?
I think you can hear him sweat a little, like in his voice. He's like, "Yeah, definitely wouldn't want anyone to know about that."
I sure wouldn't either,
Yeah,
man.
we're cool, you know.
And you
And
know, I sure wouldn't want that to happen to you either. So let's hope, for both of our sakes, that my mind doesn't change. Or more specifically, nothing gives me a reason to. You take care now, bud. I just hang up.
he'd click.
So, turn, and I guess I'll start heading over to Huck's office, walk in, hands behind head, just go, "All right, I got a scoop."
I had to revert to my junior high self to play that character.
I liked it. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It worked.
Yeah, I've honestly had to write so many. Just to like Allie's point, yeah, I've had to write stuff like that in a job I had out of college. It's just so generic and bland. It could be about anything.
The generic. Oh, actually, I took a class on a writing workshop class back in college, and literally one of our assignments was like having to write like some like banal corporate apology, and like literally they teach you like, oh, you gotta learn how to fall on the sword and take full responsibility by also taking no responsibility at all.
Like you have to, I apologize that something happened. You can't say what that is because
Yeah,
it'll be used in
hey,
court.
it's
But you gotta
this
go.
thing
I apologize.
something might
The
have
bad
happened,
thing
and
happened.
It's kind of bad. If it is bad, it's not our fault, but we're sorry about it still. But it's also
Yeah,
not
exactly.
It was terrible, but it couldn't be avoided.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
It's unclear what it was, but it definitely there's nothing that could have been done.
It's very funny and bad.
Despite having no idea
yeah,
what this was or how it happened, we undoubtedly took every precaution that we could have to avoid it.
Exactly, Egg. Exactly.
I'm so sorry you were offended
You
by
got
that.
it, Egg. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so again,
anyways.
kind of walk back in, hands behind the head, just like, all right, I got a scoop.
Yeah,
Perfect.
and yeah, Dion, you know that because it was part of the rumor, is that the cards are planning on doing some kind of business with the with like the gold majors soon, and they're holding a sort of night market about it.
Okay.
So yeah, so I'll pop over and she'd be like, all right, so I called a guy I know. Don't worry about it. It's a bit of a long story. Who might have a bit of an in on Rocklin. Turns out those dudes drop prototypes all the time just to see what they do, apparently. Seems like they might have paid the deck off to get a nomad group to snatch that prototype halfway in en route to Night City. Meaning if anybody has their hands on it right now, it's probably the deck.
Although to be clear as to what he insinuated, just because I don't think I was super clear with it, they don't pay people to steal it. They make it very easy and obvious to steal, and Rocklin Augmetic stuff is expensive, so everyone wants to steal it.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, anyways.
So that thing Tate just said.
I'm shocked. Shocked, I tell you. So
About to have a heart attack and die if not surprised. Anyways.
The
You don't
surprise
sound
in the
very
air is so
surprised, Doc.
palpable. It's a shame we can't see any of it.
So it sounds to me like we should consider paying the deck a visit.
question I have is
But-
why in the world would they get their hands on a Rocklin prototype? I'm assuming they're planning on selling it. Anybody got any info on that?
This is where Dion speaks up.
Do
Dion should mention the thing that he knows.
I know it's related to. I'm sorry. I know it's related to the rumor.
Yeah, so the rumor was that Rocklin had some pretty scary thing that they've made that we're not sure what it is yet, and that it got stolen, and that the decks are selling it to just anybody at a night market soon, and that the Golden Agers are interested in it.
Okay. Yeah. So I know there's something big that they've been planning, and I know the deck or decks.
The deck.
The deck really wanted to get their hands on it, but I don't know too much about the specifics of what it is or what it does.
Well, if I know specifically the deck, they're gonna sell it off to some other gang probably somewhere. Meaning, and you guys can always kind of see Fox give like a very, very, very long, exasperated kind of eye roll. Meaning, I guess we gotta pay them a visit.
Oh boy, more booster gangs.
Oh, this will be so much worse. Fox says, like in like low breath, or like in like a very low voice, just like, oh, this will be so much worse.
But anyways, Fox, you definitely know where this night market is. It's just part of your roll ability.
Mm-hmm.
That you're like, yeah, I know where this is going on.
Yeah.
It's probably, you think, in the old combat zone somewhere down this side. And you also know that night markets are generally considered like neutral territory, and anyone who breaks that just isn't invited to ones later.
Yep.
But they are the kind of place where if you can justify someone else attacked me first, you can kind of get away with some stuff.
Yeah,
so.
the rules are kind of loose. Like it's kind of like the official honor among criminals code is like you don't kill anybody else for no reason. Not here. This is his own piece. You leave your beef outside. But of course, if you I don't know, maybe insult the other gang's like best friend that you shot last week, and he gets mad and swings on you, and then you shoot him. You go, oh well, he swung on me first. Sorry.
Exactly.
I do, in fact, just be knowing shit, Ollie. It's literally like 45% of my character is just be knowing shit.
Yeah, the operator and the
other
media
55%
just get to
is he
know.
drinks.
Yeah, literally, like my ability is like 30. It's like 33% knowing shit, 33% haggling shit, and 33%. Nah, really, just those two things actually. That's probably about all I really do actually. I'm just the guy, you know. But yeah, so I guess we can head straight there. Do I? And I hate to ask this question because I feel like I might know the answer.
Mm-hmm.
Would I happen to be aware of which deck higher up might be running and or organizing the night market?
Yeah. Sorry, Eggshan, the other 33%.
3%.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, Egg, because yeah, you're pretty sure you know the deck operates where so they used to be a secret arm of the mafia. They used to only do the card aesthetic so that they could look like they were some kind of stylish Night City gang to hide the fact that they worked for them. Since the corporate war, so for the last 20 years, they have just been their own gang, though, and they've sort of leaned in harder. Their organization works that everyone's assigned a suit based on their skill set, and generally there is a head of each suit who organizes these things. You are pretty sure that if they're selling cyberware, the suits that are going to be there, the heads of those suits, are going to be probably the Spade, and who are like the techs and med techs, and then the clubs, who are the solos who tend to work security.
Yeah.
And you also know that you know the head of the clubs very intimately. Do you want to say, or are you not going to tell people?
I'm not
love
gonna
to
say
tell
it
the
yet,
chat if you're not
unless
going to.
I'm gonna say if it becomes relevant in character. So I guess since I now know, I'll turn and say, all right, well, if it's the deck handling a night market with Cybertech, we probably have to deal with the clubs and the Spades. The Spades aren't too bad of a group. They're chill, if anything, so we can probably get around with them. The clubs, on the other hand, are a separate story, Fox says, and kind of like lowers his head a little bit.
You slept with them, didn't you?
Hey! Yes.
Did you at least use protection?
Okay, it's a really long story, but the head of the clubs is kind of my ex and maybe sort of hates me.
Hear that, chat? Yeah. So just because chat keeps saying ace of spades, the ace is technically their best operative, where the king of any one is actually the one in charge. And yeah, Fox, you know the king of spades.
Yeah, the King of Spades is
Specifically,
an old crush. We
he
went
was
back
not
for
the
a
king of
while.
spades when you knew him.
Yeah, we had a thing for a while. I don't want to call it dating, but I guess that's what he calls it. Things were going good for a while, and then he got clingy.
You know,
Yeah, we haven't talked in a while, so I can't imagine this goes too smoothly. But hey, maybe I've grown enough facial hair that he won't recognize me.
We could always put a bag over your head.
All right, let's get this over with. But if anybody asks, Dion, I'm dating you.
Dion's side.
And Fox just like walks away. Doesn't even wait for an answer. Just like, if anybody asks, I'm dating you, and just walks off.
This
Doesn't even wait
obviously
for
is
an
not
answer.
happened.
well, at least I don't need to give this boy a shovel talk.
Oh lord. Oh god, he's technically meeting my mom. Oh no! All right, we ready to head out then? I mean, yeah, I guess. Anything else we got to do here?
So when was this night market scheduled? Sorry, I didn't.
It's
I
like
didn't catch that.
I think it's probably the like next day.
Oh, okay.
So you only have to wait a little bit for it. So you do have a little bit more time if you want to try and do any more research or something
Unless
like
we
that.
want to
Prepare
try and
something.
steal it before then.
Oh,
I mean, you could.
I will say so. As Fox like stops at this, he stops, takes a minute to think. You know, night market. You know, chance to make a bit of a name for oneself. Maybe get some things go. So I'll say, all right. Well, we got till tomorrow to get this thing done. So I advise you guys all get your shit together and wear your Sunday best. And then he kind of just like walks out. No questions are being asked or answered about why you have to wear your Sunday best. Just you all better wear your Sunday best. Don't worry, I have a plan.
Yeah, I think Doc, you do work with the local gangs well enough that you know, like, we could try and steal it, but like, the cards are pretty good at operating even in like the non-combat areas. So it would be you'd have the whole city to search. They could have it anywhere, and they're one of the more reasonable gangs in a way that you can decide if you want to antagonize them or not. But like, it's gonna be a little harder to do than if you're just ripping off a booster gang.
I see.
All right. So I guess if anyone, so while you guys go, if anyone's still doing like searching, so you totally can still like do searches and stuff. I'm just gonna head back to like my room, my quarters. You know, head in the closet, dig in, kind of rifle through some stuff, pull out something real fancy, maybe like a nice like it's not like a suit, but like like a sport coat kind of setup. You know, like a nice like off gray sport coat with like a little orange kind of piece on it. You know, nice little. There's something a little stepping up a little bit. I'll even take like my locks and like kind of put them in like a nice high ponytail rather than like normal like kind of like low hanging when they normally are. You know, change my nails, my scratches from their usual orange, maybe like a darker orange or like a red or something. You know, just get a little fancier, just a little bit. To do a personal.
Yeah, if we want to wait for that,
because I will.
Sure.
I also get a +2 to those because of my 3 light tattoos.
Yeah.
Character sheet. Hiya! Don't mind the 3 dice. It's gonna happen because I'm lazy. I got a 16. Well, 18 technically.
16. Yeah, exactly. He's got to let his ex know he's doing well.
Yeah, exactly. I got a flex. I'm not walking in here looking like somebody's bum. I will say,
yeah,
though, anytime I go to the store in real life, it's like, oh, you know what? I'm probably gonna see some people, so I like, I put on like, I put on like some jeans and like a nice outfit, then I walk outside and don't see anybody. And the other time I'm gonna go to the store and I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna see anybody. I'm just gonna go, however, and I'll walk out in like my like pajama pants and like a t-shirt and like a dirty t-shirt, and then I just happen to run into everybody I know on that day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, no, Ollie, the shirt, like the jacket. So first off, the sport coat is there, right? The shirt I'm wearing under the sport coat stops like right here, like crops right. Like
he's got an ebb window,
like the navel, so you can see like the tattoo I have on my stomach, and also like the sleeves are short, or I have them rolled up, so you can see the tattoos I have on my arm too. So all my tattoos are showing right now in this instance. I'm looking damn good. Although I guess no one's seen me because I'm still in my room right now.
Yeah. You set this up so that the next day you can be stylish. And in fact, we can say this the next day unless someone wants to do something.
Yeah, that's why I'm leaving it open if I have other stuff to do.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
Yeah, just find some nice-ish looking clothes in my closet.
Just gonna put on a nice business wear top and fuck it with the pants.
Dion pretty much only wears suits or button downs.
But he
Like,
does it in a casual, sloppy way, I assume.
Sometimes when he's at home, but like you never see him in like a t-shirt or like anything but like not khakis, but you know the kind of style of khakis, usually in a purplish
Slacks?
color. Yeah, slacks. For how
Yeah.
they're called.
That's fine. Yeah, so y'all can sort of dress up. If you want to try and impress someone, it is sort of like a personal grooming role, but we just say you dress up if we want to just skip to that.
I'm only flexing because I got it's necessary. It's like literally part of my character. I have to. It's my class. I have to, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay, the
willing
only thing I
skip
need to
for that.
do is, well, bring the shovel, aka my doll, my sword, and stab anyone who looks
Wait,
at Fox wrong.
You call your sword the shovel?
Well, actually, I just called my sword a sword.
Okay, I
That's-
was like, wait, but you. I'm so confused. Solid though. All right, word. I mean, I got my pistol on me, but you know, rather than it being like tucked in, I actually pull
shoot.
out like a nice kind of looking holster thing for a little bit.
That's a problem.
What's the problem?
My only weapon is an assault rifle. I can't conceal that.
You can have guns visible, just
You just can't shoot anybody.
don't draw them first, man.
Yep.
You're my hired muscle. Just stick with me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
sure.
it's all good.
Your hired doctor muscle.
Hey, listen, they don't
It's
know you're a doctor unless you tell them.
Look, man, trauma team carries assault rifles too. It's fine.
I mean, I have a 5 in cool, so I don't think they're going to be too.
I'm
Like,
sorry,
they're
Link,
probably
but you're
gonna know I'm
officially
not there
Shovel
to
Knight
look
now. I hate to.
intimidating.
It's been designated official. You're now.
What, the shovel knight?
You're the official party Shovel Knight.
I mean, hey, I need to
It's a
give
damn good game.
I need to give this man a shovel talk.
Bouncing
even though
on
you're
him.
You've already
Just give him-
broken
give
up,
him-
but I
give him-
never
give
got
him the down
you,
attack.
so.
All right, are we ready to hit this market, folks? We ready to hit the town looking good?
Yeah, so you guys head over to sort of the old combat zone. You can go through the glen. The night market is really just several buildings in an alleyway. They try and pick it like off the beaten path. I won't have items populated on it or people until, or if you guys need to, but it is effectively something like this,
Yeah, that's fine.
where like there's various stalls just sort of set up in the corners of buildings. People selling various things that are technically not supposed to be
It's
sold.
actually a reasonably sized map this time.
Yeah, I know, right?
I know, I did a good.
It's not like a 50 million size map. Yeah, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so we can see things a little bit better. I'm doing so bad on like keeping a good quality like display for the game for the people. I fixed it though. Everything's better.
I'm not even watching the stream because I don't want my computer to fucking
To
die.
explode.
These maps
Solid
are always so
respect.
fun.
Hang on, I have music for this. Here we go. I got ambience.
Yeah.
You guys can't hear it
Yeah,
because you guys suck.
Oh, yeah.
But chat,
I was like-
chat, you guys get ambience. Enjoy.
Yeah.
I was
So
like,
yeah,
Chat,
maps
please
are
tell us
made
you can
by
actually-
2-minute tabletop. Most of the assets and a lot of the map background stuff. 2-minute tabletop. Go check them out.
Shout out 2-minute tabletop.
Anyways, so yeah, it's just this is sort of for your ambiance for seeing the kind of area it is. There's streets to the north, south, east, and west, and this is just where buildings meet. And yeah, if you guys want to look around and shop for anything while it's here, a lot of not as important but still useful stalls show up. This is where people tend to sell all the stuff that they have that's fallen off the back of a truck, let's say. It is a more serious setup that where the stalls of the most illegal stuff being sold, and you can see several of the spades from the deck standing out front. They both have pretty serious-looking assault rifles, just sort of at rest, actually quite professional, and they're looking around in sort of like a tent structure. And Fox, that's where the serious shit will be sold.
Yeah, I guess that's like where the midnight market would be amongst the night market, maybe. If that's
Yeah,
right
yeah.
here. Cool. So, I guess like we'll kind of I'll parse through and like I'll make my best efforts like look like we're kind of all blending in. I'll also advise my friends like don't look stupid. Look around at stuff, blend in, don't like stand out like sore thumbs. So I'll kind of look around, brush over some stuff, maybe like say hi to a person I know randomly, some shit like that. As I see the tent, I'll kind of like nudge the group, kind of like point them over in that direction. Of the spades who are outside with the guns, do I recognize any of their faces? Just like any of them, like, know me by name or anything?
I think you recognize them by name, but I'm gonna do, or like you recognize their faces, but I'm gonna do a roll and see if they're perceptive at all. Oh wow, yeah. Man, me rolling well as the bad guys again.
Fantastic. Love that. Love when that
Bad
happens.
guys is a
for
strong
me,
term.
except I don't.
Yeah. So both of them, again, you don't know their name, but both of them definitely zero in on you. They don't say or do anything, but they're just
Alright,
like they're just
so
giving you.
So you know
Giving you
what? I'm
eyes.
gonna play on the moment. I'll kind of walk over, assuming that my group is kind of all around me. You know, obviously associated with me. I'll just kind of walk up to them and stop, and like as they look at me, just be like, "Is he here?"
One of them nods. He seems mildly sympathetic. He's like,
Let me see him.
They gesture into the tent.
My friends come too, by the way.
They don't seem that worried.
All right, so I just start making my way past them.
So yeah, you enter the tent, and there are a few sort of like glass cases set up with various weapons and cyberware sort of inside of them. There is one or two people who are definitely, I guess, they're definitely techs. They're definitely from the. I need to remember exactly what I have said, which suit is which, because I just remembered the spades.
Got it.
They're definitely techs that know what they're talking about, trying to be salespeople. You know that actually throughout all of the suits, there are people who would be considered fixers in the game, who are good at selling this sort of thing. So you assume these guys are actually fixers who just know their tech pretty well. And you can see behind sort of a U shape of glass cases is a negotiation table, and your ex is there, Gerson. Gerson McPherson is the name we've already given him. Sorry, chat, you don't get to name this one.
Chat. Sorry, my ex is already spoken for as far as names go. Apologies.
Yeah.
Don't worry, there'll be plenty.
You
Maybe
see him.
We'll sneak some in there for you.
Yeah.
Right,
you see him there. There are like 3 guards behind him, and also, and if chat wants to name this person, there is the queen of their tech people there. The clubs are the solos. I have been getting that backwards. So he is the king of clubs, and then the queen of spades is there, who is their like head of tech and med tech.
Do I know her? Are we?
You are familiar with her. I'm gonna let, if chat wants to name her.
Yeah, Chat. Let's get a chat name for this cool gangster badass girl who's sitting with my ex apparently. What do we got? Emily had to spell out Gerson McPherson. It looks like Gerson McPherson, which is even funnier, low key. But
like, that's pretty close to how I spelled it. I just spelled it with an F.
Because he was lazy. PH?
Yeah,
nah,
kind of.
Too much work.
Most people call him by his rank of king of clubs, but you know.
Also, Lerner gave me a +2 to my next roll because Lerner's the greatest. Thanks, Lerner. Your gang, fam. Go. You can come with your name. Go for it.
Jane Stadia.
I think that you know her by her title for now.
I said
so.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, she's just the queen of spades for now, and then if Check up a good name for her, then we'll keep it.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that she is very businesslike in her understanding of technology and trying to sell this. But yeah, as you enter, you definitely see Gerson's face, like, first surprise, and then, like, anger, and then it, like, smooths over like he's doing his poker face, which, you know, he's not amazing at.
Yeah, we talked about it.
We talked about this, man. You need to...
How to do this. All right. So, are there, like, places to sit around? Or just, like,
yeah, like this negotiation table on the inside of the U of these glass cases. Right. There are seats opposite of them.
All right, so we're just gonna walk up, and I'll take the seat that's like directly opposite from him, and kind of like gesture to my friends to have a seat. I'm not saying anything. I'll take a seat at the table, you know, hand right here, tell my friends to sit down, and that's it. I'm not saying anything.
Jane Stadia, come on, man.
I'll keep Jane Stadia. I'm fine with it.
All right. I'm just gonna sit to Kit's left and just pull out my cyber deck and start scrawling. Not a word.
It's been a very silent interaction.
Would it be weird, like, is there any where that like Dion could just like stay standing?
Yeah.
Or would it be okay.
Yeah, they're like, so if you're going to be standing, you can't stand behind them, and then you look sort of like a bodyguard, but if you just want to sort of be in this tent, because they're on the inside of a U of glass cases, you can be on the outside of that U and still be in the tent, and just be like looking at the stuff there.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that.
Mhm.
Because Dion, even if it's not like, even if it kind of makes no sense that there would be anything to come up, Dion's always securing an escape route.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Okay. And this is a tent, so you think you could probably like just burst through the side of it and run if you need to.
Just run.
And there's like 3 dudes definitely armed at like parade rest effectively behind these 2 heads of gangsters, and they have also what looks like very dangerous weaponry, and there's the 2 guys outside. You assume there's also other security just in the crowd that you didn't see, because that's just sort of how these night markets go, but that's it.
So I guess once everyone is positioned in their positions, I'll wait for.
Oh, real quick, where would Huckabee be?
Oh yeah, Huck, where you going?
I would be, well, since I'm posing as Foxy's hired muscle,
Yeah.
I'd be in his entourage, and I'd probably go to sit when he directs us to sit.
So yeah, you sit pretty comfortably, I'd assume.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think get
you
quiet.
guys say first?
I'll just look, and I'll kind of look over at Gerson, and just say, "Is this the part where I'm supposed to be happy to see you?"
He kind of almost chuckles, just like, no.
Antagonistic.
He does not look amused. This is the part where you tell me what business you have here.
I have to have business to come by. I thought night markets were meant to be open.
You don't need business to be outside of this tent.
Oh, what's that? I'm not allowed around anymore.
I think that his partner here, Jane Stadia, as the chat has decided, Jane sort of gives him a look like, really? It's like doesn't matter what your relationship was with him before, this is still a place of business. And this is a place of high-end business, so I don't know what you guys are doing here unless you're here to buy something.
Looking for a Rocklin prototype. Powerful one. Went missing pretty recently. Heard anything about it?
She looks like she's thinking and is about to say something, and Gerson said, "Yeah, you're too late."
Gerson, you've never been good at lying.
You can check me, but it's not one of the ones in these cases. We had some interested buyers before this whole thing happened.
And they would be?
I think you know them. They operate in your neck of the woods. They're the Golden Anger types. They're always tinkering with some cool, strange, dorky new thing.
The superhero
they
freak
wanted something.
wannabes? Why do you still
Yeah,
sell
the
those
ones that
idiots?
think
I
that
thought we
they're.
stopped doing that forever ago. Have you learned nothing from when we used to? Never mind. Where are they, and where are they taking it?
I don't know, wherever they live. I don't track it after it's out of here.
Keeping a client and not finding out what they're doing with the merchandise. It's like they never met.
They don't have beef with us. They mostly have beef with the Jigsaws, and I figure anyone we can power up to take out those freaks is good business.
Logic solid enough? Listen, I can't tell you why, but I need the prototype. You gonna help me get it?
Not in particular. Jane has tried to speak up maybe once, and he just like gestures her down. He's like, "We're not really in the business of turning in people that we've worked with."
But you are in the business of business, yes?
That's fair.
So what's the cost?
I think this is when Jane speaks up. Look, I know you do have some sort of beef that I don't really care about.
Then why are you speaking on it?
Fair.
Kind of like...
Yeah, fair. If you want to know where they're at, I don't think that they've left the market yet. You probably could find them here, or you could find them at their base. They shouldn't be that difficult to find for you three. I believe that they is somewhere in South Night City. It's actually fairly close to where you live, I'm sure.
Fox will kind of look over at Jane for a second, and then kind of flash a smile. Fox has his teeth body to be a bit sharpened, kind of like fangs a little, so he kind of gets like a small flash of fang as he smirks at her, just like cute and competent. Oh, Beckett Gerson, 2 things you couldn't manage.
I'm gonna roll a thing. Yeah, he definitely looks not super happy. You are getting to him a bit, and just
As the moment I see him get flustered, I'll just kind of like hand on the table, just well, got what I came here for. I'd say pleasure seeing you, but oh wait, I allow the time. Pleasure seeing you.
Actually dated
so-
this guy?
I just get up and like I don't know, maybe it's some like dramatic gesture of like like hand whatever. Just the point is like we're leaving. I'm not sticking around for this idiot.
what I would like to do is anyone involved in that conversation or watching it, you do have an opportunity to try and like human perception, or if you want to try and persuade to get more out of them, like we can add rolls to this
Please,
part
yeah,
if you'd like.
guys. Don't let me dominate all the chat. I actually majored in businessology, the study of business.
Yeah.
Leon's gonna sit it out.
With a 14, I'd say that you are not sure. Like, they do have pretty good poker faces. Huckabee rolled 14, by the way. I don't think he said anything. Just for chat.
Sorry.
With a 14, you're not. They have pretty good poker faces when it comes to lying, but you do notice that that McPherson is definitely flustered, and you think maybe planning something isn't the right word, but like you can see the gears turning in his head as Foxy's trying to leave. I'd also say with that 14, you're pretty sure that Jane knows what this tech is and is maybe more amenable to being convinced to talk about it. Especially because she seems reasonable and part of the like tech community, and you might be able to impress upon her if you roll high enough on persuasion that it would be beneficial to everyone if you at least knew more. Like they may want to help you.
Oh, well. Persuasion is not looking great, but...
Or I mean, if you speak up, I feel like if you you say like, hey, like it's probably a good idea if we know more about it. I could try to persuade her. I'm good at persuading.
Yeah, you don't have to do the persuasion roll, but you are the one with the
like,
knowledge that
you
needs
should
to
definitely
speak up
speak up on it,
first.
Yeah.
Volpo. I think Senora Stadia may know more than she's been able to tell us. Perhaps if we can get her away from Senora McPherson, however you said it.
The spades are all about cybertech and stuff like that, and that seems to be your alley. How's your flirt game, Doc?
I consider myself married to my work. Thank you for asking.
You know what? Good enough. Fox will kind of like very, very slowly, like with what appears to be like mild disgust, angle his head back, like just like very close, slowly like curl his head back towards McPherson, and then back over and just say, "I can get you 3 minutes."
It will have to do. Where's Lindsay? Where is Senora Lindsay?
All right then. So Fox, shakes his head off, kind of puts on like obviously he's putting on an act, and just kind of will stop, and kind of like almost like fake a very, very forlorn look, turn back and just go, "Wait, Gers, I'm sorry. Do you have a moment?"
Yeah, roll me some, I guess, either persuasion or what's a lying skill?
I'm good at it. I can do persuasion.
Yeah.
Here comes 3 dice again because it hates me. 25.
25. All right. And then I'm just gonna roll.
Damn, I almost feel bad for Gerson.
Hey man, listen.
That's the game.
The game is the game.
So I mean,
right?
he rolled pretty good, but he's also not nearly as good at this. He's real good at hitting things and shooting things. That's his bit. So
That's why I love him.
he does he does a little bit of like a face twitch. And he's just, you know what? Fine. And he is gonna follow you just outside the tent, but not really get farther than that.
Okay. Wait.
I just want to
before
occupy
those,
his time chatting about some random nonsense, like I don't know. Just I don't want to talk about anything particularly substantial, unless he like.
I mean,
has something
before
particular
those
wants to
two
bring
get
up.
out there. Before
Yeah.
those two get out there, though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab McPherson and just.
He is a
say,
big dude, so you can like get maybe an arm around a bit of his arm.
Try and climb onto it.
Yeah, like
It's like, you dare make Foxy cry. I'm a net runner. So don't you dare.
I bet there's got to be one person who made Foxy cry, and ever since then.
Ever since then, he's
that
like,
one
never
person.
And it
again.
was language.
Isn't that low key like what every single like sad boy like womanizer is? He's just like got his heart broken by one person and is like, all right, fuck everybody then.
yeah. But yeah. Also, Egg-chan, Fox did Sim for me.
Oh, of course.
That's pretty good. I dig it.
I
Yeah.
I
So.
love all the Sims. Also, Molly.
Hey.
Facts. All right,
Anyways,
so yeah, I'm not gonna like talk about anything important unless like he says if he says
Yeah.
something like particularly like plot or like backstory relevant, I'll talk to him. Otherwise, I just want to like chat him up about idle platitudes for a few minutes while I give Huck and the rest some time to chat up the Queen of Spades.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, also I'd say Lynx, you basically threaten him, and he seems like slightly confused and not all afraid. He's like, you have a very different idea as to how this relationship ended, and he follows Foxy outside.
Okay, maybe I'll add a little bit.
It may surprise you to learn that he is the asshole.
Anyways, yeah, so you do have a chance to talk with Jane.
Fox is my kid and does no wrong.
I'm gonna do it every fucking time. I'm so sorry.
Anyways, and she sees the two of them leave and can just, like, you don't have a great poker face, like, so you wanted to talk about something?
Yes. So I happen to know a thing or two about cyber technology myself, and this rare piece, it intrigues me quite. What should I? So
So I'm gonna give you a little something
what
here.
am I trying to? What information should I be trying to get out of her?
So you don't really know what this does. You just know it has a massive power source and that it will cause more cyberpsychosis. It may, but that's what your aunt told you.
Right.
I think without having to do a lot of insight, you are at least suspicious of what she normally would want you. Like, she may not be telling 100% the truth, but also there's a lot that could fall under that, especially in the hands of a group that are known for modifying and weaponizing cyber tech in weird ways. And so I think that you could, again, with that human perception, you know that it's dangerous, and you know that she may care about the fact that it's dangerous, and that might convince her to tell you more. I'll also say you can roll a persuasion, and if that fails, you can roll a relevant skill, if you can convince me it's relevant, to get +1, so you can roll that persuasion again.
How about
It's sort of-
conversation as the relevant skill?
Yeah,
Having a
check on that.
Conversation.
Yeah, so that would be trying to have careful conversation where you glean stuff without her knowing you're gleaning it. So yeah, if you want to be subterfuge, that would work. And yeah, with any check, if you fail the first one, you can roll a different check if you think it's relevant to get +1,
Okay.
and then roll again, if that makes sense. So I'll kind of guide you through that. But yeah, I'd say first roll some conversation.
Not bad.
Oh, interesting. The dice didn't show up for me this time. Anyways,
That's so weird.
so yeah, with 17, and I think that she's rolling some human insight. She doesn't do super great. So I think that you managed to have this conversation without her realizing that you're trying to get this information. So I'm not exactly sure what that looks like. Is it like shop talk of like, oh, I'm super interested. What what were some of the specs on this thing?
Yeah. I hear that this technology, it has a self-regenerating power supply. How was that managed? It's fascinating.
Oh, well, so you are familiar. She said there was some.
I'm a doctor after all. Cyber technology is kind of my line of work.
Your
To an
reputation precedes you. You're well loved with a lot of our customers for your work, but yeah,
Oh, so they
it
know
wasn't clear.
not a bodyguard.
You guys are also not
shit.
super in reputation. Yeah. You're not don't have a super strong reputation, but enough of one to be like, oh, also they're kind of dangerous. You don't just walk up and slap them for no reason. But yeah, you. She's like, well, there was some sort of. It had a certain amount of biological material in it that seemed to. Have you ever seen an enclosed ecosystem? They were a big experiment in the 90s, early aughts, where you'd have like a whole plant ecosystem in a bubble. People could live in there. There's a whole thing. We think it was something like that. We were a little worried to crack it open and test it out and see what was in it, but we also just couldn't resist trying to figure out what it was, and we're gonna try and do the same. We think it was a viral bacterial sort of like living machine system to generate bioelectricity. It sounds like it wouldn't be a lot, but I don't know what they put in there, but it was putting out a lot more on top of what it normally gets from the human body. It was very fascinating. I didn't expect Rocklin to be working in biotech, but here we are.
So it was naturally occurring and not engineered? Where would you find
I assume it was bioengineered. There's no way you would
I
find
see.
these kind of bacteria and viral systems in nature.
Ah, my mistake.
Hmm. Fair. It was. I don't know. We were afraid cracking it open would either destabilize it, and who knows what kind of virus or bacteria you would have to develop to output that kind of power. But such as it is.
Well, all's well that ends well, right?
So long as we're not in the room when it opens up, I'm not exactly worried.
Well, funny you should mention that. I believe if your friend is to be believed, then my friends and I will be very close to the room when it is. I would much like to prevent that from happening, as well as as much as it is possible. It is not just me and my friends living in that area. Many good people are trying to make a better life for themselves there. I would not like to see them harmed over if I can prevent it.
Roll some, I guess, persuasion, unless there's another skill you think works there.
Appeal to humanity skill.
There's an appeal to their
Appeal to their sensibilities.
Actually, you see that she, like, her expression softens a little. It's like, I understand, but I don't think that it's gonna be that much of a problem. Everything that we could figure out, it's not gonna spread that much. I can't imagine some system enclosed like that would survive in regular atmosphere for longer than a few seconds. So she's not 100% convinced, but you can roll me some of your tech skills, if it's applicable, to, I guess, like, prove to her that it's a little more dangerous than she thinks. You also do know that you've seen this increase in cyberpsychosis, and this is a thing that will exacerbate it, so you might be able to leverage that.
Right. Would cybertech be a relevant skill then?
Sure. Ooh. Yeah, that's really good. I think because this is a thing that your character knows, but I don't know that you would know that you're... like, all cybertech does need to integration to like a person, and it does require that there's.
Sorry, your audio
I don't know how to
cut out.
Oh, what? Hello?
You're back. You're good now. You're good.
Yeah, you're good.
Oh,
It just
okay.
cut out for a second, but it was
Ah,
your
all right.
explanation, so I kind of missed.
Yeah, so you know that there's a certain amount of like, I don't know, like enzymes is maybe the right word. Like there is a chemical that is required for upkeep on these cyber systems, that has to integrate with you. And I think your main worry now that you understand how this works is that like, hey, what if that system isn't that enclosed? It's not just going to spread on the air. What if it spreads like in people? Like this could be a artificial like super virus. And I think you can manage to explain that to her with this role.
Okay.
And her reaction is a little more like, you know, that might be fair. And she's like really considering. You appeal to her as an equal in tech. And
I appeal to her as a fellow person who will be completely screwed if this gets out of hand.
I'm one of the idiots who lives in it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think you managed to convince her. Like, all right, well, she's thinking for a minute. What I can do is give you an offer of, we will refund them for this if you can get it back. But I'm gonna need something in response. I'm gonna need a favor in return from you.
What is the favor?
We definitely have some guys, especially under Gerson over there, that are gonna need a lot of work or they're gonna need to even out personality-wise. And I hear you have one of these VR chambers for therapy. It's gonna take a while for them to get back on their feet and be just a little more reasonable. But if we can get it free of charge, or at least minimal charge, we might be able to recoup the cost of this thing. What it's going to mean mechanically is that for like the next 2 or 3 weeks, you're not going to be able to roll a hustle.
Rolls.
Yeah, they're going to be entirely doing this.
Damn, son.
This is where me not being a businessman comes back to me.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean we should give Huck a little bigger of a slice of the 4,000?
We'll make it work. I mean, I don't know. I'm outside right now. I don't know what they're talking about.
This is kind of a decision that you do have Dion next to you, and I'm not sure, Lynx, if you are here or you followed Fox, but...
Yeah, what
I'm
are you
here.
doing right now?
Yeah.
She's just around the corner.
She's just kind of hanging out, just like...
I'm
Yeah,
just around
you
the
two
corner.
can...
Like, you're probably better suited to be having this tech discussion than me.
I probably am, actually.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'd imagine you're more into the programming side and not necessarily like the biological thing.
Lynx is lurking.
I'm lurking, and
Lurking in
I
Twitch
think
chat,
I have
bro.
more of a here. Can I roll an electric security tech so I can make a talk about how it might be dangerous for weaponry wise.
I would say either. Yeah, I'd say security tech for electronics would be more like surveillance and listening devices.
Got it.
So I don't know that technically applies here. If you have weapons or cyber tech, I think you can contribute
Yeah,
on
cyber
that
tech.
angle, though. Yeah.
I'll make a roll. It's the 3 rolls again.
Ooh,
Time.
22.
22.
Yeah, I think that your special interest in this is like, hey, we maybe don't want this around if it's fragile and people are going to use it as a weapon.
Yeah.
Like, even if this gang is reasonable with it, the worry is if this becomes more common, eventually it's going to break. And eventually it's going to break somewhere where you don't know about it. Do you know every single person cyber who's in here? I don't think so.
I'm also a little concerned about the jigsaw because they've got territory near, well,
Yeah.
all of us.
Yeah, they're definitely near where you live. Not necessarily in this area, But yeah, the two main gangs that operate right on top of you are the Jigsaws and the Golden Agers, and then various booster gangs.
Yep.
We only lurk respectfully here. Yes.
Only the most tasteful lurking here, Neon Lights.
We are lurking respectfully.
I am lurking.
I am
respectfully.
lurking respectfully.
Mm.
I do not see it.
Mhm.
I do not chat it.
But yeah, she's sold on it, but she's still like, we do need to recoup
And with
costs
a napkin.
somehow because we are gonna have to refund them this.
I can give you a discount.
She's definitely weighing it. She knows that your prices are already lower. She's
He's a businessman. He's making business deals.
I tried.
yeah, and so she does weigh, and I'm going to roll a d10. She fine. Look, I'm going to give you where they're at, and we can negotiate how much that discount is later, because I'm going to go out on a limb for a second and believe you that you are going to keep your word that it will be worth it.
Always.
But I want to know what you find out about this thing. I want you to open it up a bit. I want you to help us figure out how and why it might be dangerous. Because if this is a prototype, there's every chance it's going to be not a prototype in the future.
Leaking
I don't trust
info...
Rocklin.
Nor do I. And leaking info on
Lynx,
them
you have
sounds
been
like
given
honest.
a roll boost. So the current active roll boosts that haven't been popped are myself and Lynx.
Alright. Midway through this, actually, I would like Lynx to roll some kind of social check to keep Gerson occupied. I don't know if
Me?
that's conversation. Oh, sorry, Foxy.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, sure. I'll do that.
Just
I'll-
like go up to him with
she's
the
just
shovel.
like, hey, what's going on? What are you kids talking about?
Me, with my shovel.
All right, here's a conversation to keep that going. I'll burn my +2 here because this is important. So
Yeah.
the actual roll was a 15, which becomes a 17.
Yeah, I think that he's pretty well occupied. I think you're something between, like, talking about banal, dumb conversation, but also being like, whatever happened to us, you
Yeah,
know?
just being like, yeah, things got kind of weird between us, huh? I feel like
After
that
this
would
like
become an argument pretty
massive
fast,
shit
though.
talk in 5 minutes.
Man,
Yeah.
those times were.
Those times were times, huh? They sure
they
happened, didn't they?
We live in a society, Dan.
We sure lived in a relationship for a bit, didn't we?
So how
Yeah.
about sports?
Yeah.
How about it? Isn't that crazy?
Weather out here is crazy, right, dude?
He's
But,
like,
yeah, so he does not walk in as you come to this agreement, you 3 or 4 in this tent, that what she wants you to do is not necessarily tell her, like, you don't have to tell her anything about Rocklin, like, didn't want it to be seen or anything about your amp. So you think you can get away with just, you're going to try and figure out how it works before you hand it over, at least enough that you might come up with ideas if it becomes a mainstream thing on how to protect people from it, if that makes sense.
Dion.
And that's...
I think we should pass her Dion's agent number since he's the media
Yeah, okay,
guy.
since he's the
He's
contact
our
guy?
Yeah.
He's our guy providing the leaks.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and honestly, your activity of messaging people a bunch, even if someone saw it, isn't going to be as suspicious as them, so that may be fair.
Plus, I have 3 disposable phones. Don't ask why I have those. Just know that I do.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think that's, she is convinced, and if you are amenable to some kind of discount, we'll decide what that means for your hustle rolls later, but it won't be no hustle rolls.
Okay.
And then yeah, you will have to spend some time to get this, but considering you have like 2 weeks and you're on the cusp of finding it, you think you have the time.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, she does give you their location. I'm gonna open up the big
the
map
map!
again for a second for you. They are in South Night City, and it seems like their main place that they sort of, I don't know, do modifications and study of a piece are sort of like kind of close to the Glen over in this area.
I've been there before.
Yeah, that this sort of overpass. These major streets here are a massive overpass, sort of over most of South Night City before
Yeah.
they reach the ground there. There's just a lot of buildings in there that are abandoned that used to be very tech based that a lot of people are repurposing for like scrounging and modifying tech now. I think a lot of your customers come from this area, Huck.
Solid. Makes sense to me. All right.
So it's a matter of professional pride that I stop a deadly cyber virus from being released there. Or a
Yeah.
Sounds
I mean,
like
you
you're
don't know,
bad for business if you let that
deadly
happen.
or not. Yeah. Your main worry is we have no idea what this will do.
yeah.
It's all right. I'll give you a hand, Huck. I
It's
might not know my
mutual.
med, but I do know my tech.
Half the job.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that especially if you split it that way, that you're definitely going to be able to have just as much, if not greater, insight than Doc as to like how someone might hack this or modify it. Where Huck, you're gonna have a better understanding of how this might hurt a person, but also how you might how you would install it. I guess if that makes sense.
Solid.
But I think that depends on the roles, you know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyways, so yeah, you can definitely head over there. I think Fox, especially with a conversation roll that was still pretty good, and your target being kind of dumb, you managed to dismount this conversation pretty easily. Of like,
All right, cool. My friend's
yeah,
gonna
but
let
anyways,
go.
I gotta get going.
But you know, for the sake of old time, I will turn back and offer him a very sincere smile and a nice to see you, Girth.
Mm.
Earth?
Is that not his
Don't
name?
make fun of their nicknames.
Is it a pet name?
Yeah.
Wait, like GIR.
Like,
No,
you
that
can't
with an,
ignore
the,
it.
the joke is with an E. That's the joke.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? I don't think that was his name.
I'm not here to comment on what this nickname is supposed to be.
Yeah.
But also, I think it's about time that we take a short break before moving on to the next bit.
Bio break. All right, kitties, ladies
Getting
and gents and
over.
loves, thank you guys so much. I do want to like randomly do a couple of super quick shout outs because we can, because we have time.
Because we can.
Yeah, because we can, because we have time. Just because like this is our third straight stream and we've had a lot of some of the same people popping up and saying hey to us. So a couple quick random shout outs. Super huge shout outs to Ali Peach Senpai and Learner TV, both of whom have Twitch channels who stream on their own. They are super fun and awesome, and we follow them and love them. Shout out to Eggchan for being awesome. Shout out to Molly for popping in. Molly's been to all our streams too so far. Like, you guys are awesome, and love you guys for popping in. Thank you guys so much for being here. We'll be back in like 10 minutes, give or take. We're gonna take a quick break, get a drink, get food. Feel free to grab a snack, use the bathroom, call back your corporate overlords to request more time off so you can keep watching. Love you guys, and we'll see you in a bit, okay?
Hey everybody! Hello Twitch, hello Internet.
What's up, gang?
Y'all
We're back.
missed a very engaged conversation about White Claw.
That's all you missed during the break.
Listen, it's never too
Yeah.
late for a White Claw, all right? You can show alcohol on Twitch, right? Is that a thing you can do?
Yeah, you can drink alcohol.
Sweet.
You just can't do anything that's
It's not.
not.
It's not like it's illegal anywhere. in the
Oh yeah,
States.
I'm 25. I'm like an
But
adult.
Yeah.
if you do that on like a YouTube
As often
stream,
as
they
we
will
forget, we
demonetize
are
you.
all adults.
Oh yeah,
immediately.
YouTube will like slam on you. That was low key part of why we switched over was I read the videos. I read the rules for like monetization on Twitch on YouTube. I was just like, oh god, never mind.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure just
Really?
my existence violates YouTube TOS.
On the other hand, though, they can they won't like ban you for. I think you can even like be high on YouTube.
Yeah, that's true.
It just gets demonetized real fast. And
I
like,
remember a video of a guy who like was like
we gotta hustle, man.
I showed a friend a video on like how to use a grinder basically, and like I remember in the video the guy was just like, yeah, so this is my grinder. If you're wondering why there's
Wait, a
grain in there, it's
grinder
from
for
broccoli,
meat
don't
or
worry
a
about
grinder
it.
for pepper or a grinder for meeting men?
Meeting
Both.
men, I'm assuming.
Oh, okay.
It is kind of for meat if you think about it.
True,
With the brain.
but you
Oh.
might not want that kind of grinder on your meat.
We do not need to keep going into that. Anyways,
You
we
you
do-
steered the ship in that direction.
All right, so
Anyway.
All I'm doing is hoisting the sails.
we're gonna stop now. I'm steering it in the other direction.
You're dropping the anchor.
Anyways, so you guys know where you need to go to find this prototype.
Nice.
What I'm interested in is, one, how you're going to go about that, and two, any kind of knowledge you want to bring in to this encounter.
Well,
hmm.
I would like to hack those blueprints so we can take a look at what the layout of the map is.
Can Dion snoop for any like corporate ties? Any other corporate ties this gang might have?
Yeah, you can do a. I've already forgotten what it's called. You can do a roll for that. It's one of your class ones. It is more difficult to do while you are actively doing it versus passive, but it's possible.
Do I
It's
need
the same
to do
roll
a
you
net
did
run?
for the rumor before. Net running in this version, you can't really just net run anywhere. There's not really a net. There's a data pool. You can research more for them, and it would be like a library search, similar to what Joe was doing.
Okay, so I will see if I can't dig up any info on the area blueprints.
Yeah. I'm just making sure I find the media one because it is a little more specific.
I got you. Hold up, I can help.
Where did it go?
Looking for the media ability?
Yeah.
I found it.
Credibility. There it is.
Credibility, yeah. What just happened there? Oh, we got a follow. Thanks, Dan.
Hey, thanks for the follow.
Doing my part to make the count.
Yeah.
We're on our way to 50.
So yeah, is that a library search versus your plus 1d10 there?
Yeah.
I think I get a +2 to my library search, but
Yeah, so I believe that Dion will have a +2 because of his agent, and I don't know what if you think you have a +2 to that.
I got a
Link
+2
it
on my
out.
next roll thanks to I think it was
yes.
Ellie's play, or was it Emily? I don't remember.
Yeah. So with
I'll
6,
do.
yeah, you have a +2 because of the library search function on your agent.
Okay, so that would be
A 16 then.
Yep.
Dang.
Damn
So yeah, we're going to do Link's rolls first with a 13. So you effectively have to dig through a bunch of old records on the like layout and blueprint of the city before a lot of like the Corpo War decimated a lot of this area. You do find a pretty good description of the inside of this store and some photos, but not like a blueprint. effectively where they're at is this sort of garage, where cars used to be fixed up. But there's pretty small. It's almost like a gas station garage sort of combo. Uh, it's effectively one large area for two cars on the right, and then like there's some bathrooms you can get from the outside, a back room, and then like a front gas station like shop area. And it's split into half. You're not sure what they've been doing since then, but you do know that if they have cyberware they're messing with, the location that's going to have, I guess, space for all the gear is going to be the garage on the right side. And then Joe with a 16, Le Garage. Thank you, Egg. With a 16, Dion, you look into this gang just a little deeper to know more about them, and they don't seem to have a lot of executive ties, in that they're what's called a now I can't remember, a poser gang, where they're like styling themselves after people that don't really exist anymore. And they're in fact styling themselves off of people who have never existed, although a lot of them end up looking like some of the actors who played these characters back when movies were made of them.
Big Ben Affleck,
back when
Christian Bale.
Yeah.
George Clooney.
But yeah, so you can pretty much surmise, no, they don't really work with corporations. Their main thing is, one, they are sort of struggling for territory against these jigsaw types. And then two, they do some amount of hustling of illegal materials, drugs, things like that. But they're a lot more about this sort of interesting and weird modification of cyber. And in fact, they kind of sell their still useful but not necessarily aesthetically appropriate for their character sort of stuff. There's like one or two famous examples of that. Like one of them definitely is trying to be Dr. Freeze from like the old Batman comics, and has attempted to make a cold gun more than once. And you think that he's maybe succeeded, but some of his early attempts just ended up being like really good at processing power. Like just it's keeping a limb at super cold temperatures, and actually is really good for like cyber decks. And so they sell stuff like that.
Okay. Like a glorified heatsink.
Yeah. So like they sold that and actually made a pretty good amount of money. It's super illegal because it's like, one, has very little safety features that it should, but also two, corporations don't like it when people independently sell stuff that they should be selling. So they definitely made it illegal to sell homemade cyber. But also,
So every corporation
nobody gives a damn.
Apple then.
Oh yeah, 100% in this setting, every corporation is Apple.
Cool. Makes sense to me.
Yeah, I think Huck has had to actively like jailbreak multiple limbs all the time when people steal it and are too dumb to do that.
Limbs.
Yep. Imagine you have to jailbreak your arm because it's seized up because like Rocklin Augmetics is like, you don't get to use that. You haven't paid the company for it.
The licensing fee for your arm.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that like in like 2022, 21, that was happening a lot. It's been like 20 years since corporations could really enforce that. If you're unlucky enough to get like plug into a network of those companies and you have a arm that is not properly prepared or a limb, it probably will seize up if you bought it illegally.
I'm just imagining,
but it doesn't happen much anymore.
I'm just imagining multiple guys sharing a jailbroken dick, where it's just like, yo, bro, help me out. I met this really, really hot girl, and like we were hitting it off super well. She wants me to come over, but like I didn't pay the sub fee on my dick last month, so I don't think it's gonna get up. So maybe, so can I borrow yours? I'll run it back. Yeah. I'll clean it off before I give it back. I promise.
I didn't want to say the phrase jailbroken dick, but that's exactly what I was thinking.
I like Ali's joke there that you gotta reach a paywall before you can jack off again with your robotic arm. It's like, oh no,
but that's like masturbation limit. Where like you gonna touch it? It's just like.
Oh no. Yeah, like definitely corporations were attempting to do that kind of stuff at the height of it. And if there was a national net or a worldwide net anymore, they would keep trying to do that. They just can't really do it anymore. The data pools don't have the bandwidth for that kind of search and activate program. You just can't really find people through it the same way. It's a whole thing.
Oh.
But yeah, So that's kind of how they operate, and that's what you learn about them. I would allow you to roll again if you want to learn about any individual member. Like, you don't have to name them. I'm just saying if you want to roll again, based on your roll, I'll let you know more about them.
Sure. Same roll?
Yeah.
What?
Damn, I'm rolling so
Yay.
low.
It's still 18, though, because you're real good at this.
Yeah, I haven't rolled higher than a 4, I don't think.
Yeah, so I'm going to tell chat, you can come up with just like 5 different names if you'd like, and that will be their real names. And also, there is social media in this future. It's a little funky and a little weird. You basically have a page and maybe a feed, but you can't do a lot of interactions. So if chat wants to name that social media, you can go for it.
Fine with that. So it's like Cyberpunk Twitter. It's just that it's not Twitter anymore. It's
Yeah,
like
it feels a little more like early
Hugo-
MySpace at best.
Huevo.
all right. So we
What
got
would
we got one name.
dystopian
Hugo
Facebook
Huevo is one name.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think we can take that one, Dan. It's copyrighted. I don't think we can call our social media Facebook. That might be copyrighted.
But it's a dystopian future.
It is, but like, definitely in Cyberpunk, Facebook got beat out by something much worse, even worse
just
than
like, it's-
evil
yeah,
Facebook.
no questions.
Much worse, you say.
Technique, I'm down with that.
I
Technique.
like that. Ollie coming in strong with the names, and Dan trying his best.
I said we needed something much worse than Facebook.
Yo, jury's out on whether Twitter's worse than Facebook. I think I think Facebook's worse personally.
There's a long
Choco
conversation to
Bob.
be had about if you're talking about morally or functionally, but that's a whole different thing. We're not doing that.
I'd say Twitter gives me slightly less brain damage.
Same. Like I feel like you find like slightly less like
Probably because you
conspiracy
can
theory
limit
memes on
your
Twitter.
exposure.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But anyways,
But I
chat
feel
can
like
keep on
Twitter's
coming up
got a
with
worse
names.
effect overall.
Yeah, maybe. Anyways, so chat can still keep coming up with names, but for now we're going to go with technique for the social media. So yeah, like these guys do have real person names, but they are going by the names of the villains that they are inhabiting on their various social medias. And technique, I think, is the easiest one to like search through and find, effectively because these are just pages that like what you really do is download a set of hyperlinks and like forums to make a page, and they have a main page that auto updates a new version of it every time someone puts up one of those links. It's very complicated in the way that they can't just use a real like interactive web page anymore because the way that the net is set up. But you can sort of look through all their pages. There's like a good directory. You find the one who is Mr. Freeze because you sort of started there. Definitely super cybered up. In fact, I'm gonna say with that roll, you get the 5 of them that are super big into this invention, but are also have a lot of cyber and are probably the most in danger of going psychosis if this thing bumps them a little far. There's one who is a Mr. Freeze. There's one who is a Magneto. There's one who is a Bane, and a Doom, and a Joker.
Of course, I'm the Joker, baby. Sorry, I had to.
In fact, you find out there are like 3 different Jokers in this gang. They're all supposed to be different versions because you can't have copycats
if
that are
we're
like,
going by
oh
canon,
no, I'm the
are, in
alternate
fact,
universe Joker.
3 Jokers.
Yes,
if we're going by canon,
yes, exactly.
there were 3 Jokers in canon.
Yeah, they have a very pedantic argument of like, technically there's 3 Jokers the whole time, even though they didn't introduce that during the golden ages, age of comics.
Yeah.
So we can. It's very annoying to hear.
I imagine like if these guys are like golden and silver ages, but like are picking up on this stuff like way later and like after like modern comics have happened. I imagine like most of their arguments are just like which stuff is golden age / silver age stuff and which stuff is retcon. Just like.
Yeah.
Wait, are you the one Superman where he was Russian? No, that's not canon. Are you sure it wasn't canon?
Exactly.
Holy fuck!
Yeah, one of these Jokers is cybered the hell up for some reason.
Names, Tate, I'm sorry.
Oh no.
So we got Hugo Huevo, Dahlia Montgomery, James Spreefeeder, Sydney Lopez, and Carla McCartan. Shout out Spree, by the way. If you're here in chat, Spree Uzaki, you're officially in the game now.
Yo.
On the bright side, it means Fox will stop bugging you to make a character.
That is
Because now
true.
you have one.
Holy fuck, that's very funny.
Man.
Well, now it's a roll the cosmic dice as to which, and the actual dice that I'm rolling in the DM side that you can't see, as to which of these names go with which of these villains. So who knows who Spree is going to be?
A feeder. That's what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
That's all he ever is. Anyway, yeah, okay. So I mean, I don't know what do I guess I probably have like some general knowledge of like this gang of idiots. I probably want to avoid dealing with them too much because they just kind of seem really dumb to me. But like, you know, I imagine I know of them, like know their existence, know what they do in general. So, is there any like relevant information I feel like I should roll for, or do you think we got it all out already?
I'd let you roll for some street smarts to get just like a feel of who they are.
Yeah,
I would
can do
say that Dion's roll does identify these 5 as also probably the ones who bought this stuff. With an 18, I don't know that you have a 100% confirmation, but you do find like them talking about like, ah man, we got a big score, we're gonna make some cool shit off of this.
Fantastic.
Like talking about it. Yeah.
Right. In that case, I won't bother rolling. I think we got enough information on what I need for now. I think we're good. So I would say from here, it's just a matter of yeah, okay. So we know who has what we want. We know, relatively at least, why they have it. The question is, how do we get it from them? I see we have 2 options. The first is guns blazing. The second is guns not blazing.
But both ways have guns.
That both ways do involve guns in some capacity. I gotta say that.
I'd like one more roll real quick from Huckabee. Just roll plus your luck stat, not like using a luck point, but I want to see if you have worked on these guys before.
Okay. Luck stat is 8. Okay.
Wow.
Oh, you're a lucky boy.
Nice.
You are a damn lucky boy.
A 13. I think you've worked on like basically all of them.
At some point.
It was the one that you didn't get. Sydney Lopez is the one who is Doom, and you have not worked on her stuff. You think that it's probably pretty similar to the one who is Magneto, whose name you didn't get.
Of course it's Doom. It's always Doom. God fucking damn Doom.
Yeah, but you think that maybe their cyber works similar because you've worked on Magneto cyber, and they've not really been able to get the effect they want when it comes to like pulling and pushing metal because they just do not have the juice. In fact, now that you think about it, you're like, oh no, this cyber would let them do that. So far, they've mostly just been able to like deflect bullets to a minor extent, which is still pretty impressive. They have a whole magnetic system. They've had to like make sure that none of their cyber has any sort of ferrous material in it, so they don't accidentally like crush their own left arm or something.
Hey Doc, you've worked on most of these weirdos before, right?
Si, signore.
They give you a contact
You've had
number?
to pull stuff out of them. They have not.
They didn't.
How do they get in touch? They just come to you?
Yeah, I think.
Sorry, were you gonna say something?
I'm gonna say yeah. They just come to you, and how they do that, you get to decide.
Joy. All right.
I have a reputation to uphold.
All right. In that case,
it'd actually be kind of funny if you had a data pool page that someone could use to contact you.
Just be like, oh hey, that seems like the guy I could go to not have cyber psychosis anymore. Cool.
I was thinking about leaving. I was thinking about leaving my card with like some of the dudes we shot last time, but I figured maybe we don't want them knowing where we are.
Wait. So do they come to you on the day of your daughter's wedding?
No,
I don't have a daughter, but
all right. Okay. So all right. You know what? We're gonna play off that. So Fox will turn.
But
to
hey,
friends
with
as
that luck
their...
roll, do some of them?
Yeah.
Do any of them owe me favors?
I mean, I don't think that I think they've paid you kind of well because they are a somewhat useful game. Like they do have work that they do.
But I imagine.
But I mean, you already work at lower prices, so they already do kind of do you favors.
Right. So
owe you favors.
So the way what Fox will do is like as we're kind of like making our way over, I'll turn to my friends and say, Well, all right. If we know they work with Doc, then we can play off of that. I say we go in and operate as if we're just, Doc's traveling companions. You two are his hired muscle who handle his books and his things like that. And I'm his agent. I speak for him personally. He decided to be in the neighborhood and pop by for a routine checkup on their cyberware, and we use that to make our way in. What happens after that? I haven't planned that far, but we'll figure it out.
Maybe nudge them to get some therapy for their cyberpsychosis.
Yeah, that too. Anyway, more importantly.
Yeah. I mean, the way that it ends up working mechanically is that no matter how much therapy you do, there is a minimum cost to any piece of cyberware. And having built some of these NPCs, there's a certain point where, like, there's no more therapy that one can do.
Yeah, they're just kind of out of it.
So it's more like they will get a piece, temporarily slip into psychosis, and then you would need to therapy them out of it, and they're now a little closer than normal. They've probably done that more than once.
All right, so what do we think about the plan? Do we want to sound like a solid plan or what?
Sure.
All right.
There's
well,
no objection.
Guess we'll make our way in then.
Yep. Map.
Hey, everybody.
So, just, you gonna be a front door up here? Where do you want to be?
Front door, might as well. We don't want to seem suspicious, so we might as well just come front door it.
So big.
Yeah, I'm gonna say these doors are closed, but because you kind of know the map, and because they're like have pretty good like glass openings, you can basically see into all of this. So I don't have to like fog of war it up too much.
All right, I'm gonna just make my way up to this door here, right here, so-ish.
Yeah.
And just kind of like I don't know, is it like should I like knock? Is it like an obvious like a bell or something? Should I just knock?
Yeah, there's a bell that happens when you open it because this is sort of like an old school gas station.
Oh well, I'm just gonna walk in then. Get behind me, you idiots.
You walk in, and the one who's like sort of here hanging out, the dude who is playing Bane, who I think you guys would know. Oh yeah, that's who James got. Bane. His name is James.
That sounds about right.
And just like he is a big dude. You guys have met Elijah back at Neon Lights, who has been cybered up in a similar fashion to be super strong. But like Elijah's scrawny, almost like skeleton-ish. This is a man who has put on an insane amount of muscle, or has had that body sculpted onto him.
Fantastic.
On top of the fact that he's definitely got like metal bones and shit going on.
Lovely. My favorite thing.
And so yeah, he's standing there at the countertop when you come in, and he's giving you a look, but he doesn't really say anything while this lady in the back, Sydney, walks up, who is Doom. Definitely seems to be more in charge. Like, what do you guys want?
It's always Doom. All right. So yeah, Fox will kind of just like gesture backwards at the doc and just go, well, evening and salutations, friends. I represent my good friend here, the Dr. Huckabee, who I'm sure all of you, or most of you at least, have gotten some work done for. The doctor happened to be in the neighborhood and decided he wanted to come by and check some of his favorite customers. Do a quick free routine peek at your cyberware, make sure everything's still functional and, minimal glitches, things like that. Free of charge, of course, just out of the kindness of his heart. We have here...
you're going to have to roll some sort of persuasion or deception here.
Happily. So let me get the big sheet up. Here we go.
And if someone behind him wants to help, you can roll, and if you do well, you can give him a +1.
I got 22.
You rolled
22. So you can tell Bane dude 100% believes it.
He's
just like nods. He's like, yeah, okay. He actually has not as deep of a voice as you would have expected. He's like, yeah, okay. Also, person in the back here who's Joker.
The Joker, baby.
Hugo is the one who got that one. They both nod. They're like, yeah, okay. The one who hasn't actually dealt with Doc, though, is going to roll.
Do any of her fellow compatriots vouch for me?
Yeah, I think the one back there is like, oh, yeah, the Joker is like, oh, yeah, I know Doc. Hey, how's it going? And, yeah, this one does not, Doom does not understand what's going on, other than, okay, they seem to vouch for him. It's like, all right, that's a little suspicious, but okay. Like, out of the goodness of his heart? She asks you?
Yeah,
well,
you see? You see, the doc happened to be passing through the neighborhood, and we figure on our way back to our home, we'd pop by, see some customers, and our last check-in, they happened to tip us quite a fair amount, so we thought we could definitely afford to do the work for free. So we figured we'd just pop by and say hello.
Yeah. Honestly, because of the way Doc operates, this is a somewhat believable lie. And they're like, yeah, okay.
And then, like,
and
as they seem hesitant, Fox kind of slowly nudge back towards the door. If you don't want us, we can always just be on our way, of course.
I think it's Bane who looks like, no, and to do like, look, they're fine, Sydney. Come on. It's like, hey, yeah, actually, I think we have something you'd be super interested in. Honestly, other two are in the back here, Dahlia and Carla. I love that these are most female names, and I've mostly made male tokens. But you know what? I think that it's part of the cosplay. Some of them are going way more into it.
Gender is irrelevant, meatbag. I replaced my genitalia with cyberware.
Yeah.
Anyway, no. So I'll hearing that, Fox will kind of obviously, masking the fact that we obviously probably know what this is. We'll turn back to the doc and just go. And what do you say, Air Doctor? Seem important enough to for your attention?
It does pique my professional curiosity somewhat. I would love to see it if you're offering.
Turn back to Sydney. You hear that? Professional curiosity.
Yeah, what I'm going to want is, I think this is going to give Doc a +2 because it is such a good lie and rolled so well. But Doc is going to have to roll whatever check you think can be like to fake it or lie or pretend to be surprised, or at least not show that you are definitely scamming them.
Conversation, I guess.
All right, come on.
I will allow conversation because that is kind of a deceptive thing.
Play it off, Doc. Come on, I need you to work with me here. 20.
Hey.
Wow.
There it is.
+2.
22.
Yeah, all right.
Yo, look at that. Let's go.
So yeah, you definitely managed to be like, oh yeah, that sounds professionally interesting. They haven't told you what it is, but they're like, oh, it's this cool new thing. We think that we're gonna think Magneto back there is actually going to be able to get in on be able to get their thing to work finally.
Oh no. The last thing I need is you folks call this.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose it will be more work. I suppose if it means more work for me, then as long as you can pay the fees, then I'm happy to see where it gets you.
Oh, hey, Lynx,
You can move into the garage here that they'll lead you into.
Lynx, you've been given another +2 by learner that I missed. So you have another +2 lying around, Lynx, whenever you need it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I'd say Lynx is going to have an opportunity as they move between rooms, because you are aware of where their eyes are, to maybe do a check for cyber stuff if you feel like doing that while they're not looking. The finder or whatever it is, ping.
Finder.
The thing where you find out where nodes are and notice
Yes,
where
I will
networks
go
are.
ahead and roll a net run. That's a 10.
Yeah, okay. You don't really get into behind the building. It doesn't get this far. But you do notice two networks in here as you go around. One is the vending machines, and you're familiar with those. But another that surprises you is that both of these lifts, as well as one or two tools that you can't really see on this map because they're from the ceiling, are technically a network, just one that hasn't been used in a long time. You would be a little worried it might be attached to the old net because you can't really see into it, because it's definitely pre-war. But you can access it. The node is effectively on the ceiling here. But yeah, it'll move the lifts and one or two of these tool arms that the tool arms aren't super functional, but you might be able to do something with them if you need to. They're really old and not really well maintained. It looks like people have been stripping bits from them.
Got it.
Yeah, this is an old garage that you're sort of looking around. I also want to say to chat real quick that, oh yeah, all of these heroes I just took from a list, so I actually really appreciate them not all being just dudes.
Yeah, it worked out super well, actually.
I was really mad actually looking at the list of most popular villains that they would be, and I'm like, why are none of like Poison Ivy isn't on here, Harley Quinn isn't on here, why not?
Yeah,
It was
Poison
bad.
Ivy should be on there definitely.
Yeah,
Harley
like I
Quinn's
feel
too.
like, but
Catwoman.
we had this chat earlier. I was talking about like well-known like female supervillains. Like it's so weird how a lot of them just don't get the credit they need. Like Cheetah, Gigantus. Like there's a lot of really dope like women like supervillains that we just like they don't get love the way they should. Seems so.
But so
weird
yeah,
to
I
me.
love the idea of this gang is like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter what your actual sex and or gender is. You just play the character you want to play.
As
It's
long
fine.
as you're in costume well enough.
Mm-hmm.
Gender is
Anyways.
irrelevant. Cosplay is all that matters.
Yeah. You're brought into this garage,
Mhm.
and you can see that sort of on this car lift, they have put like a med bed similar to what the doctor would have. In fact, it's a very similar setup. Ali is right. A lot of Batman's female villains aren't even villains. They'd be heroes in this setting.
Batman
Anyway.
literally cannot get with a woman who doesn't want to sleep with him or does not want to kill him and or who dies. Every woman Batman dates either dies or tries to kill him. That man has the worst luck with women out of every superhero ever.
He is very
Anyways.
passionate about this subject.
Yes, he is. We're dropping it for a second. Anyway, so you see Magneto is sitting there, and you can see that her old setup arm is off, like just the left one, and being slotted onto them right now and sort of surgeried on by Mr. Freeze is this very stylish and odd-looking arm that I think Doc, you instantly is like, oh yeah, that's Rocklin. It is highly fashionable. It looks like it's made out of like many little plates that fit together and move. They're not meant to look like skin because you can always do that. It almost more looks like scale mail.
Ooh.
And there's one like over the bicep that is glass and open, and you can see sort of like a green swirling sort of sphere thing through that scale.
Right.
And you can also tell from all the cables just attached to this, just any of you with even a little bit of cyber tech, that like this thing can handle a lot. I mean, a lot of power, like more than you think it should based on the description of its technology, honestly. They're pushing it in a way you're not familiar with. But yeah, they're sort of slotting it on there right now. It seems like it's almost already attached.
Almost already attached. All right. So I need to. I'm gonna like walk in, kind of like making a scene. Just whoa, whoa! Unauthorized cyberware installation when a professional is right here. The lack of decorum. Now, how about before you go turn that thing on, you let Doc here have a good look at it. Make sure it's nice and functional.
Mm-hmm.
You'll
notice I labeled the
functional while I'm looking at Doc with like very wide eyes.
Yeah. I think you notice I've named Dr. Freeze Mr. Freeze because this person is not an actual doctor. But also, yeah, the person playing them is, you know, Doc, that they have a certain amount of medical skill, so they're definitely the one out of the 5 of them who could install it in a person. But also, they kind of respect your ability, so I'm going to say you can roll a medtech thing real quick and like sort of take over without being mean about it.
Okay.
I thought it
Do you want me to do a surgery check or
whatever
like
skill you would
cyber
like to
tech
do
check?
to justify, but I'd say surgery or cyber tech.
Turn
Okay.
it off.
Where's my cyber tech? All right. Oh well, they're about the same.
Authorized cyber in my Night City.
Wait, wrong command.
You really think someone would go out there and install cyber that doesn't belong to them?
You mean people just go on the internet and lie?
And lie? Okay, so it's plus 11 is the check. All right. Oh shit. So it's a 15 for surgery.
Yeah, that's a pretty low DV for this because they do know you, and Fox is definitely playing this up pretty well. So you managed to just sort of first just like point to places where Freeze ought to be doing things, and then and then like sort of tweak stuff yourself, and pretty quickly they've just like sort of handled the tools over to you. So you'd be kind of like over here doing this, and yeah. So I'm not sure where the plan goes from here, but you are in the control seat.
I am trusting Huck to get a sense of what I meant when I looked at him and said, make sure it's functional with very wide eyes and a deep focus
Out
on the
for
word
like a
functional.
second.
I meant the opposite thing for
Start-
people who weren't aware.
Right.
Make sure it's
Your audio cut out for like
functional.
Yeah, it's because I was whispering and my mic doesn't pick up my whispers too well.
all right. All right.
Anywho, do the thing.
Exactly, learner, an imposter.
I'm sorry.
There's an
He doesn't want-
imposter among us.
I'm starting to think he doesn't want him to do scheduled maintenance.
Right. Honestly, like
Okay. I kind of want to see like if this thing is like how stable this thing is, because like
Mhm.
I could, because like if it's, because like based on what we learned, like even just installing it could be really bad, and if I can convince them that installing it would be really bad, that might make our job a little easier.
That's entirely true.
So can I make a cyber tech check?
Absolutely.
All right.
wait, I missed it. What's Huck doing?
He's checking to see if the things he's heard about this arm are true. It's basically, what is this thing?
Right.
A
fair
cyber
enough,
tech
solid,
check.
Respect.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. You start like sort of just checking a bunch of like the various readings that are attached to this. Like there is a computer setup that is giving you different things like input, output, like neural load, things that are very technical that we don't even have in our language yet because we don't have the technology. As you're looking around, there are there are a few things. The arm itself seems to function really well, like just the mechanics of the joints and all that. It's very stylish. The little plates are fairly well designed so that they don't like accidentally cause sparks or rub against each other. It is made out of a non-ferric material as well, which is just the new style because it looks cool, but thankfully works really well for this Magneto cosplayer. The things you do notice is that there's all these extra cables that you see that they are effectively trying to drain some of its constant power output so that it doesn't hurt them while they put it on. And you think that they've set it up so that they could definitely install it without it hurting anybody for now. But as soon as those cables are off, they better have some sort of setup to make sure it doesn't start frying some of their other cyber. And also, you don't know like really how good like about the network around here, but you can easily surmise that if someone were to mess with these cables or the system around them, that possibly uh, you could possibly like maybe give them a little shock. Nothing that's like bad or dangerous, but enough to like put the fear of God into them. I'd also say with that check, as you're looking at some of the schematics and data on this, that the sort of core that's generating this power, this core is telling you what is in it. The core is telling you that it's this like viral, bacterial, like mini biosphere. But I think you do have some equipment on you that you use yourself because you don't trust what Rocklin says is in that thing, and the radiation from this is low level enough that it's not going to hurt anyone anytime soon. But this core is somewhat radioactive in a way that is not good. You're very worried just looking at that. Because you're like, hey, that's not how biosphere things are supposed to be.
Yeah. Where did you find this?
Oh yeah, the cards. I mean, the deck types. They stole it from some truck. I don't know. They don't like to tell where they get their things, but man, it was some pretty cool tech. We heard some rumors. Some Rocklin guys down in Texas were talking about this cool new power output thing that they were developing. We just had to have it. I think this is a freeze because they're like super interested in it.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely looks like a Rockland, but what did the decks tell you that? What did the deck tell you that? What did the deck tell you it was?
Well, we actually did a lot more of the research on it than they did. We were the ones who tipped them off to getting it. Their condition with that kind of thing is always, well, you still have to buy it from us in an open market or whatever. And we managed to get it before anyone else. But yeah, they didn't really know much about it other than what they could find out looking at it. It's what you see here. What we found out is that it's supposed to be for some of those secret Militech operations they do. It's supposed to be someone you could attach like a freaking Tesla coil or something. Their plans were all dumb, hard light, something, something, make a bridge instantly, something, something. It's not important. We think we can repurpose it for basically any of us. Except Bane over there. Bane's like, yeah, I know.
I just punch stuff. It's all good.
I'm good at it.
Hey Tate, could I like kind of like
Yeah?
not so much like sneaking deliberately, like I'm not like crouching down and stealthing.
Yeah,
over,
yeah.
But, like I want to like without making it like drawing attention to myself, kind of just like slowly slinking my way over towards Doc. Is that cool? Can I have to roll for that?
Oh yeah. No, you're free to move around a certain amount. If you get too close to something that looks like you shouldn't be close to that, they might notice. But
I just want to be like right next to Doc, basically.
yeah, moving around here, it's not going to be that weird because you are sort of like his associate and
I'm
friend.
like right here. I want to be like just like kind of next to him,
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like hanging out with him.
Yeah, and like Lynx and Dion, you could move. Like if you moved farther away from the chair, it would honestly be less suspicious, so long as you're not messing with their like tech.
Oh, that's right. I'm just gonna right here. But I'm just kind of hanging out. I'm not messing with anything. I'm kind of just chilling. You know, just looking around.
Okay.
Looking, I'm not, like honestly at the moment I'm not even like looking at the readout. I'm kind of just like standing next to Huck, just kind of like looking up in the sky, being or at the ceiling, kind of being bored. Out of character, and I hate to do this out of character, but there's no way else to like communicate this plan in character without like ruining this. You mentioned that it's certainly possible for Huck to mess with the safety cable feed, the one that's like draining off power to not hurt anybody.
Well, you said it was related to the network, right?
Well, it's attached to like the mechanical arms that are on the ceiling. It's attached to some of the stuff built into this garage.
All right. Well, I've got a plan, but before I execute this plan, I'm gonna put a poll in chat. And
oh boy.
Based on what chat says, I can't even tell you guys what the poll is, but just based on what chat says, if chat says, I gotta do it, then I'm doing it. Sorry. So here it comes.
Do it.
Poll starting right now.
I'm super fascinated.
Go ahead. Keep doing your thing.
I'm going to say if you want to tell this plan to your friends in game, you do have an agent inside your head that can send messages.
Oh yeah.
It will take a certain amount of, I don't know, like what kind of like social stealth to be able to send that message without it being obvious.
So,
but you can't just pretend to take a phone call and like tell her to send someone a message. If you can
I'm basically
do it
gonna
right.
I'll kind of like look like I might taking a call and be like, oh, excuse me for a second. Turns, but like like let Kat know, like send a message to Doc, Lynx, and I guess whatever group chat we use for our local meme sharing or whatever. Just like send a message to the group chat, just be like, y'all ever done a bank heist?
Yeah, so just you're gonna have to roll some conversation for that.
I'll
I guess
roll,
is the only skill I can think of. If you can think of another one,
I can do conversation. That's fine.
Yeah, just to make it not obvious.
18.
18. All right. Yeah, you managed to do that pretty subtly, and everyone gets that message.
So the exact message is, hey. The exact message is it's two messages. So the first one goes to everybody. It just says, hey, y'all ever do a bank heist? And then about 30 seconds later, it's a message straight to Doc with like 5 lightning emojis, like 5 lightning bolt emojis, and then a thumbs up emoji right afterwards. That is all the plan you guys get. How much you trust Fox is up to you. And now, having said that, I'm running the poll right now. Chat, you decide whether I'm going for this plan or
not. In the meantime, is there any other sort of I don't know, like looking around the room or trying to get information roles you guys would like to do?
You said I found the node like right here, right?
Yeah, it's on the ceiling up there, which is let's say like 8 feet up. So you can definitely get it from like even over here based on the range that normally you have.
Work.
Yeah, it's effectively 2 hexes. Why is this in feet? I do need to mess with this. Give me a second.
Oh, I think it can be from each. I think each like stage has its own unique measurement thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought I'd already fixed that, but I'll.
Yeah, it's in map settings. Don't worry about it too much. Yeah. You know what? Yeah. Listen. All right, guys. I'm ending the chat poll. Let's see what we got.
Oh no, we're on poll.
Hate to say it, guys, but in the chat poll of Go Loud, 100% said duh. So
Oh, no.
yeah, Dan, I need you to pull that shocky plug whenever you get a moment. Also, Tate, we lost your cam.
Shit.
My cam is gone. Why in the world does it do that?
It
Oh
doesn't like
no!
you
Did it
enough,
run out of
that's all.
battery again?
I think so,
It
but let
just
me.
died. Oh no.
I'm losing clients because of this. I hope you realize that.
Oh, we'll find you plenty more. Also, no one's gonna kill them yet.
No, but they probably will stop coming to my clinic if
That's
I
certainly
steal
true.
them.
Tate, you have to come back. Ollie misses you.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna have to switch camera angles. You get to see my messy room again.
Hooray.
Can I
Well, maybe
try
not.
Can I try to stealth plug into the node over there?
Yeah.
So
And
I guess I
so-
should roll stealth.
Let's see how long this lasts.
Hey, look, you're in.
I got a 29.
Wow.
Big numbers.
Oh yeah, you can definitely do this stealthily. I think you just sort of like have your cyber deck in one hand and just like casually tapping it. You can type without looking, and all the other commands that are not similar but not actually typing. So yeah, you can do this.
Sweet.
I'm
So can
stealthing
she
in.
hack the arm or the stuff that
Well,
it's
she's gonna have to
connected
figure this out.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I stealthed into the into the node up there.
Okay. So when you're in the first room of this system, I'm gonna see if we can do theater of the mind of this. But if it gets too complicated to follow, I can sort of draw a overview of it on the map. But it is one room, and there's a few things you notice about the architecture, because there's sort of a style to the coding that then is translated to like a visual thing.
Right.
Is that it is very, very old, and you think it was originally designed for a full dive net run, the way that it used to be done. And secondly, there is only one door, but someone has effectively like left programming notes that are telling you one more door, split, two more doors. Do not touch the right door.
Oh no.
Sounds like you should touch the right door.
Oh no.
Cameras. I'm gonna switch to my computer camera.
Ah, didn't stay on?
Yeah, I think it is maybe a battery thing, and I'll just have to.
Happens. We'll just have to get you a better battery.
That's a nice
Yeah, I
one.
really should have checked. I should have checked this before we came back from the break.
Who cares? Not important. You're God. You're an omnipotent presence. We
So
don't
now
need to
you
see your
see
face.
my very messy office. Excuse me.
I mean, I don't think my room's that much better, to be honest. Let's be real.
Mm.
One day we'll move this over to Zoom so we can do virtual backgrounds and some shit. Who knows?
No, we don't use Zoom.
It's
Okay.
worse.
Michelle
Stop.
says no Zoom. Got
No
it.
Zoom.
Understood. Sorry, no
Stop.
problem.
Stop.
Okay,
No Zoom.
sorry. All right, so you're in the shit.
All right. So I'm just gonna before anybody else does anything, I'm just gonna assume it works like a regular net run. So I'll just
Yeah, it is still a regular net run.
So I will go ahead and install I'm gonna install some armor. Install the armor, and I'm gonna install some Sia, and then run a Pathfinder. That's my 3 actions.
Okay. Yeah. So, what was the Pathfinder roll?
Run +2 because I added.
You do get past. You do see the first door and then the split door. You do not see what's in the rooms at the end of the split, so you don't know what's behind that right door. You do also get to see some of the extra notes there. You can see that there's more notes that after the second room, and then on the split in front of that right door, it's like, please do not. And you can actually tell there's some spelling errors, like someone typed this very quickly.
Pulls do not.
Sounds like you should open it.
Pulls.
Pulls.
So yeah, it's there is a password on the second room before the split that you did beat with that 8 just barely,
Nice.
and you don't know what's in the 2 doors left or right still.
Ooh boy.
Sounds like it's only
But
one
you
way to
can
find
easily move into the one right in front of the split. So it's lobby, room, and then the two split rooms.
I'll head into the room before the split then.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll be, I guess that's all I can do before anybody else can.
All right. I mean, I'm at this point. Fox is basically like hoping that the team got the point of the message and is just waiting for Huck to basically give the signal with the very sparky signal.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of just hanging around. Like I mean, obviously I'm still kind of in my best, so I'm still looking pretty good. So my hand's kind of like near my gun, but not like in a way that looks like I'm obviously about to draw it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
it's really up to Huckabee at this point if he acts
Yeah.
now or if he waits for Lynx to do something.
Yeah, it's up to you, dude. Take your time.
well, so I turn to Mr. Freeze and I say, like, I think I'm sorry, my friend, but I think you have been misled. Whatever this thing is, it's however powerful this may be, it's too unstable for you to use safely. I see the setup you have now, but if you didn't have it connected to those cables, or if you didn't have it running through those cables, Magneto's body would not be able to handle it. Not only that,
Demonstrate.
Not only that, it's radioactive. Are you?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, you said it was radioactive.
Yeah, it is.
Ready?
It's pretty low level in the way that, like, right now it wouldn't be a problem, but you are pretty convinced that it's shielded, it's internally.
Yeah.
How dedicated are these guys to their like personal safety, like compared to the ability to like really feel like the superhero or villain that they're going for?
Well, that's an interesting question. I think you should probably roll some human insight on that.
Sense.
It is.
Or human perception, excuse me.
Insight.
If you want my medical opinion, I do not think you should be messing around with this kind of technology. No matter how cool it may be.
I'm not getting above a 4.
Wow.
It's not rolling well today, boss.
Just rolling
With the 16, you think it varies, and maybe this is like because Huckabee has had a bit of this conversation of like what cyberpsychosis really is. Maybe part of your research into that phenomenon that none of these people are dangerous cyberpsychos, but they all are like getting borderline to having the technical part where you become the most impulsive version of yourselves. So these people are all pretty blasé with their own life, and I think you're all lucky that they're not absolutely ready to kill people just to kill people. If they had that inclination as people, they might have already attacked you.
Solid.
But they're probably pretty blasé with their own safety. What I'd like Huckabee to do is roll persuasion of some kind.
Okay.
Or I think what you can do is... Yeah, actually, let's have you roll the persuasion first really quick, and we'll say that's how convincing that conversation you just had was.
Okay. And for safety's sake, I'll throw 3 luck points behind this.
Ooh. Not to metagame too much because it's a new system. I'm going to say that you can just roll this one flat, and then you can add those points in for a second roll, as well as roll another check to like a technical one or an insight one to add +1 to that second roll. There's a way for you to roll a second time if you fail the first one, if you're willing to use those luck points, or roll a tangential skill.
Oof.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. My persuasion is not the highest.
Yeah.
That's
So with the 13, you do see them think about it for a minute, but they're like, yeah, I know, Doc, it's probably not the safest. Maybe this is pushing it some. But like, we're not going to move that cable until we've figured out a better way to ground Carla's gear, to just get that sort of magneto flare. This is really part of our testing phase, and we really appreciate the concern, but we think we might be able to handle it. And I think what would be interesting for you to do is either human perception, if you want to see, like, want insight as to what argument might work better and lower that DV, or a skill if you want to present to me a second argument and you think that skill will help you with it.
If I used my education skill, could I like overwhelm them with big technical jargon that I learned in my big fancy school to to try and convince them to let me uninstall the cyberware?
Sure. Sure, let's roll with that.
Fuck.
6 is not a good number.
Wait, so are we
Wait.
How
Oh,
did that work?
wait.
trying
And any
to-
of your stuff.
Wait. How did that work?
Try it again.
Because my natural bonus to education is 12.
Do it again.
Do it again.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's a more reasonable number. I think what you go down on this sort of technical jargon is one meant to confuse them, but also is just like you're getting into a lot of detail as to how this will break down not just this arm, but like the rest of their cyber. And I think that this opens up a new like persuasion avenue where, hey, this might make it so you can't use cyber in the future and not be able to keep being this Magneto. Like it might prevent you from doing that, the thing you're actually obsessed about.
You wouldn't want that.
Yeah.
So with that, I think you can roll that persuasion again, and you can add whatever luck points you want, and you also have a +1 on top of that.
Okay. I'll put 3 luck points on it.
Okay.
Um,
So that'll be a +4 on top of your regular persuasion.
oh, damn.
Jeez.
God
Mm.
damn.
Honestly,
Wait,
this
why
is
is it?
No, 14
Wait.
isn't that bad.
It said +5, but my persuasion bonus should be 7.
getting a little weird. If you see your persuasion bonus, you can just type /R
Yeah.
space 1d10. Just like do it a little manually because it
Or
looks
even
like
just have the,
we're
the
having some
dice roller
technical
up. That's also
difficulties.
an option.
7 plus 4. Much better.
Yeah, that's got it. Because like yeah, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, the persuasion should have to be base more than 10.
That's weird.
That
I
was
don't know.
weird.
Yeah.
Whatever the case.
But yeah, anyways, so you kind of go around this, and they're like, "Oh wow, that actually, yeah, that's a pretty good point." You used some words they don't understand, so they almost feel like, "Oh man, I don't actually know how to stop all those things from happening." It's like, Doc, this is a pretty big score. I wonder. We spent a lot of money on this one. You know what would be really cool, actually, and I know we're asking you a lot, and we'd be willing to compensate you for it, but is there a way that you could like, we'll uninstall it, and you could maybe, we could figure out a way to recreate this here? Like, if we could figure out how it ticks, maybe we can like lower the voltage some or shield it better, because I know this is a prototype, and they'll probably figure a way to do this later, but there's no way we can get a hold of even the official version once it comes out.
So, what do you propose? That I come by every now and then to help you figure it out?
Yeah, maybe, or like, we could come to your place. I think you probably have better gear, and we could sort of do what we can to help. The one who's playing Bane sort of like backs off. He's like, "Yeah, it's up to you guys." The same one who's playing the Joker. Neither of them seem as technical.
Oh, okay. So this is kind of an out of character question. Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought we were about to just murk these guys.
I was
But
prepared
I
to
think
do.
that Doc Huckabee didn't
This
want
is
to.
what happens when you negotiate.
I mean, I wasn't gonna say murk them, but I had a plan.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. I didn't. Is this just
All right. You know what?
Yeah, for the benefit of Joe, who
Clearly
has not
wants
done
to
a lot of
merge.
tabletop. Yeah, just sometimes players have a difference in opinion of how it happens, and the roles show you a better option.
Yeah.
It's how that goes.
mean, I'm
Sorry,
fine with
chat. I
being
know
able
you
to
want to
walk
go
out,
loud,
it's
but
fine.
Sorry.
Oh, I will say
Like-
though, very quickly, Doc, how attached are you to like these guys as customers? Like, do you particularly care if they like keep coming to see you?
I would prefer to end this without bloodshed if possible.
I'm not
There
worried
are
about
some
bloodshed right
I-
now. I'm just worried about how much do you care about like the amicability of these people towards you.
I don't want to give the impression that I take sides between the gangs because like I'm supposed to like I've tried to be a neutral party.
That's
and
fair.
So I
All
don't
right.
want
Well, hey.
so like I don't want my credibility hurt with any gangs if I can avoid it.
All right, we'll do it your way.
I will need to take it back to my office. Is that okay with you? Perhaps we can arrange some kind of refund with the deck.
Yeah, they're like, you know what? You can definitely take it back. They rolled the one time chat that I don't roll well is so good.
Perfect. It works. It's beautiful.
Roll.
Okay.
I think the one who is still suspicious of you is playing Doom. Sydney, she definitely is like following her friend's lead now. Is like, you know what? We trust you. You've done a lot of work to try and be neutral and not like favor anybody. I think that if you can make sure that nobody else, like none of the other gangs are going to see this, we don't want them to know what we're planning. But yeah, we'd like to come by and help with figuring out how we maybe recreate this. But we'd be fine with you taking it there.
Excellent.
And honestly, for your help, we don't need the refund from them so long as we can get we can get the schematics from you on how to build it. Because you know these guys can build stuff; they're pretty good. So if we can figure that out, then we don't need the refund.
I agree to your terms. Now, if you'll please, let me uninstall this.
Yeah, it's not going to be so hard to do, so I'm not going to make you roll it.
Okay.
But while that's happening, I do want links.
All right, but
sorry?
as I'm uninstalling, or like as I'm about to finish uninstalling, I do want to like, I do like want to re-emphasize to them, and like maybe not as subtly like point at the like gesture to. Actually, can I make a stealth roll? I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Where's the stealth roll?
This is a motherfucking tabletop game. You can
yeah.
roll whatever you want.
Yeah, man.
All right. I'll take another.
There are no limits here.
Put another 2 luck points in that.
Just gonna burn through.
Well, I mean, they reset after every session. So.
This is true. This is very true.
Let's see. It was 7 plus. Yeah. All right. So as I'm uninstalling the cyberware, I mentioned to them, like, yeah, I cannot emphasize this enough. Like, if something happened to that cable, and like I try and get Lynx's attention, you're like as I like, and as I like I'm about like finish uninstalling it to like maybe do something that would indicate
prove
how
your point?
bad things that
Yeah,
could
yeah.
have been.
Okay, so I think Lynx is actually going to have like 3 or 4 turns, since each turn is about effectively like 4 seconds.
Yep, 6, right?
Okay.
Something like that.
I'm under the impression it's about half the time of say like a game like D&D. So.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
So yeah, you're gonna have like 3 or 4 turns to do this. Do you think it's gonna be helpful for me to draw that net running space, or?
We just have to. I'm in one level and I'm gonna roll Pathfind again to see if I can see past the 2.
Yeah.
The split.
Yeah,
so,
there's just 2 rooms in front of you.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do that. And
you have a +2 from Learner TV.
That's true. Still
right,
one with learner. You got that. That exists.
19. Well, this is gonna be interesting. So, to the left, you see through that door pretty easily, and there is a node, and you're not super. I mean, you're pretty familiar with like what programs look like when they're new, and you've had a few examples of dipping into the old net and seeing what happens when a program continues to run for a long time and starts being changed just by its many iterations. And there is what looks like a super old daemon that was running this node that is barely functional. That's not going to be a huge problem on the left. And it's the node that sort of runs these lifts, these cables. You'd have to get into it to really see what it does, but you definitely see into the node, and you know that it will mess with these lifts. It will move the like mechanical arms, and it will have a certain control over the electrical system as well. On the right, that door opens, or like you can see past it, and it is a sort of hole into the world net, the old net. And because you roll really well, you see this just endless branching set of networks going through the city in a way that is you're almost envious of the way netrunners had it before, where you could sit in your apartment and netrun to anywhere.
Oh.
As you see that this stretches all the way through Night City and even into sort of the Badlands beyond. But you also see that it is not a good or safe place. It's like someone has built a city digitally and it's falling apart, and you can see a bunch of these old programs that are all like the same guy that you know from history. Is there was a netrunner who basically had a dead man switch where if he died it would release a super virus that was just copies of him onto the net all over the place that will attack literally anything. And you can just see like small herds of them moving throughout the city, and there's all these other doors that you can't open and see that go to who knows where else. And I think the thing you notice the most, though, and it's sort of a detail you almost missed for a second, is that there's like someone has just left this door and has left a note for you that you can now read at this distance.
All right.
It
I'll
says,
read the note.
yeah, it says links. We need to talk. Some of my people may need your help in the meat space, or at least your meat friends. Signed, Oryx.
Friend of yours, I'm guessing.
Well, she can
We
tell
also
us
get
all
Link's
about it when she's
backstory
back.
this game. Yeah.
Hey, got some Link story. Everyone's getting backstory brought up. I love it.
Except Dion.
Yeah.
Or Dion.
I mean, maybe that's better. Maybe it's more mysterious.
Yeah, maybe
Ah.
he's just cooler
Yeah.
than us, you know.
Maybe it's because I haven't figured stuff out.
Gonna need to figure out where we're gonna meet in the meat space, but
Mhm.
yeah. All right.
You think there might be more information on this note, but it is on the other side of that door.
Gotcha.
There's just so much you can read, but you know how Oryx works. He has a lot of sort of like metadata stuff that you sort of have to dig through a file he leaves you to really understand. It's a lot of games with him.
Okay. Well, damn, I gotta. Okay. Need to talk to Oryx though. Damn. All right. You said we have like 3.
You have 3 turns, and each of them you have 3 actions.
So we
So
got like 9.
All right. Once I do a shock,
Mhm.
I don't know if I'm gonna have enough time to stay in the network. Decisions.
Better make
Right.
them quick.
Yep. Okay. So I'm gonna. Damn, but it's Oryx. Okay. So I'm going to. I am going to freaking sprint through the right door and see if I can't pick up the note.
Okay, you do need to backdoor to get past the password that's on it.
Okay. So.
You do see the notes, like I mentioned. Like you can see them in more detail. Someone like, "Please don't open," and it's like there's a record in this door, like in this room as you enter. That's like, Joe opened this the night that like everything went to shit, and we had to bury him for it.
Oh boy. All right. So I am going to.
No relation to our Joe.
Yeah, not
Different Joe.
First thing I was like, wait, that's me.
It's like,
Alright.
what did I do?
Wait, I have a name like that.
I hope there's no
I know that
alarms
guy.
on that door, but I'm gonna net run and I'm going to freaking blow 2 luck on it. So let's
Hey, big luck blows. Glad we used that, huh?
Well, that's definitely enough to open the door.
oh boy.
And you open it, and you can instantly sort of like copy this note. It isn't really grab in the tradition that's but also you definitely see one of these hunter killer programs like looks right at you, and you're going to have to try and slide away.
Run!
Okay, I'm sliding and I'm burning 3 luck on that
Woo!
to slam the door on that.
Nope!
Nope. No, thank you.
Hey. Hey, it's a good thing you used that luck, because you managed to get away.
Nope,
This
I'm
thing
good.
lunges at you, and you're very happy that you are not in a full dive VR, that it's this like newer AR net running thing, because it looks pretty scary. It looks like a dude that has been like glitched into some sort of strange, elongated, almost Slender Man-esque thing reaching for you,
Of course.
and
Very
you
fun.
manage to slide away, and it's sort of left out in the open old net instead of into the system as you close the door.
Dang. All right. That's slammed. Tape on it. No, thank you.
What was that?
Mm.
Nothing.
Nothing happened. All right. I'm gonna head into the left door now.
Yeah, you'll have to backdoor that as well, and this will be your third action.
All right. Just a
Big
regular
back
net run.
door. That's a 10.
Hey, you definitely make it through. You learned the password now,
She
because honestly, that was
knows
real
the
good.
password. She is the password.
You technically can roll another d10 and add it to that, but honestly, this is so beyond how much this thing takes to open that you're fine.
She
Yeah.
super critical opened it.
So yeah, when you open it, the demon that you are seeing is in there, and it seems to like barely register that you're there. It's like sort of attempting to make an action at you, and it looks pretty broken up.
Hey, can I just take it with me instead?
Well, that's an interesting thought. You're technically at the lowest part of the architecture. So if instead of attacking this thing, you want to uh, use the install a virus sort of action, you can just copy it and then remove it from this system.
Ooh, I would like to do that.
Okay. Okay.
It's like this poor child. I adopt all the things.
That's pretty good. I'm gonna say, especially because it's so corrupted and it's moving so slow, you don't think that this would work if this was a stronger demon or one that was in full like operational capacity. But yeah, you managed to very quickly just copy its systems and then remove it completely from the network.
All right. And then I have 2 more actions for the
Yeah.
second turn. So I'd like to take control of that node.
All right. And then I think that to do this very specific thing, as you take control of it, you can see you have fine control over the chairs, over the arm, and there is like a surge protection feature. You think this cable originally was meant to be feeding power into various technology, and they sort of retrofitted it out. You can mess with the surge protector to just sort of like just block a little bit of the power going out, just a small amount, so that the magneto in the chair is going to feel a little bit more than they should.
All right.
And I think that this is not going to be a thing that will kill them probably, but you do have to roll a nut running check to make sure you don't
Sorry, did
like
you
do some
say
serious
nut
damage.
running?
He did just say not running.
Say anything.
Nut
What
running.
I heard.
I got
I
a
meant
I got
net
a
running.
9.
All right, so you maybe do a little
So
more than you
sorry.
need to, but yeah, you time it with when Doc is like, I don't know what it would be very dangerous. You see like a flash of light, and you see Carla sitting on the seat, like almost jump out of it. And in fact, like the last few connectors to of this cyberware to her body, uh, almost like just fly off of her. Uh, Doc, you notice that like literally the power surge knocks the last few connectors away as the arm falls into your lap, and Carla falls out of the chair to the left.
See?
She's like, ah! I thought that was grounded. Being mad at Freeze, like, what do you want? What do you want from me? This place is like 30 years old.
May I suggest next time you call a professional?
Yeah, I guess you got that plumber electrical guy to make sure that your stuff is up to date.
I'll put in a good word for you if you would like to enlist his services.
Yeah.
All right, kids. Well, this
Thankfully,
has been fun. But unfortunately, the doc has some other business to get to, so we are gonna skedaddle. Fox says with like a bunch of like overdramatic flair.
Yeah. You've already like finessed the hell out of them, so there's no more rolling involved.
Yeah, we're just like,
They-
all right, kids, we're gonna go.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like the
Are
SpongeBob.
they,
It's like the one SpongeBob gif. He's just like snapping my fingers on the way out.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna let you go. You managed to sort of finesse your way out of this, and they're just planning on coming by in like the next week or two. I think in a combination with that, they are gonna pay you. So actually, Doc, you're not gonna be rolling hustle rolls. Instead, we're just gonna roll a d10, and it's gonna be times 10 the number of eddies you get from that. But between that and
Okay.
between that and the therapy that you're helping with the
Okay.
Sweet.
well, they didn't ask for a refund, so actually you might be
Yeah,
able
like
to negotiate
We
out
don't
of
need
that.
the, yeah.
We'll play it out.
So yeah, I think that what we'll do now instead then is as you leave, you sort of have done the thing you need to do for the day, but you have like 13 days before you have to turn this thing in. Actually,
Yeah.
let's go to
Well,
that.
I'm gonna use it to see what I'm gonna look
Yeah.
in to see what I can find.
Mhm.
I'm interested.
I
Alright.
would
So I
like
think
to
it's like later in the day that you can contact the deck, and you can sort of
Yeah.
try and negotiate not having to pay that, and you can ask for help if you would like to do that.
You're on your own, kid. Sorry, I'm not dealing with those fuckheads.
All right.
Had enough of. I
I'll
think I've had
give,
my fill of dealing with exes for the day.
Well, my deal was with the Queen of Spades.
Which means it makes even more sense for you to call her because I wasn't there when
Jane.
the deal got made.
Yes. Jane Stadia.
Yeah.
So yeah, Loki, it makes even more sense for you to call then because I wasn't there when the deal got made.
Yes.
So it makes more sense for you to call.
Yeah.
That's just basic street decorum.
And I believe so. The terms of the deal was my services, and then
In exchange
was there
for
something with
the
Dion, like as far as like information or?
oh yeah, you promised that you would give her information on what this thing does to the extent that you could prepare them in case it becomes a public thing, like how to protect yourself when you're
Right.
installing it.
Right.
Well, I'll be having to take a look at it anyway because I intend on
Mhm.
honoring my deal. Like, in the 2 weeks I have before I have to return it, I intend on
Yeah,
honoring
yeah.
my deal.
Now,
with
what y'all
with
should do
Rangers.
is you should work. You and Lynx, who both have some kind of tech skill, should work together and come up with like a rather than inventing a whole new device, just create some kind of limiter for it.
I mean, all they asked for was the blueprints.
Yeah,
Uh,
listen, I'm just saying, as opposed to giving them the blueprints, we create the limiter, and then we sell it.
You think that's going to work really well for the deck, for the
In character,
Golden Agers?
I
Oh, yeah?
can't do that because unfortunately I have to honor my deal with Rocklin because it's my family on the line.
Oh, speaking of
Hmm.
which, that's what I should be doing. Yeah,
What?
I'm gonna be. So yeah, well, as we're traveling back, I'm gonna be like, all right, so we got your bit of your toy for Rockland. Exactly who'd you make this deal with, if you don't mind me asking?
Would you like a name or?
I'll save you the time. Just a contact number.
Do I have her contact?
Yeah,
She's
you can
she's my aunt.
contact her almost any time, but she'll know it's you and be
Oh, well,
maybe a little mean about that.
all right, well, I will take the number from Huck, and I will pull out one of my disposable phones, and I will use it so as to prepare to dispose of it. So I'm gonna put out a call to this lady, see if she answers. See what
Wait.
What?
Wait, do we not? We may not want her to know that we have it because if I might. If
Buddy,
she wants
buddy,
it immediately,
she
then...
doesn't know who is calling her right now.
Okay. All right.
All she knows is someone's about to call her and tell her they have her thing and are willing to buy it off of her. We're just trying to play that one out. So,
Okay.
yeah, I'm gonna call her.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, so first, I'm just gonna roll a die to see if she cares about this random number.
Flat 0.
Well,
So, clearly she doesn't give a shit at all.
Yeah, I think that you can leave a message, so she doesn't actually answer you.
All right, so I'll just keep it simple. Just, we have your tech and we know you want to keep it quiet. Call back, or else, and then I'll hang up. That's it.
Okay. And then I'm gonna have you roll some kind of deception, whether that's conversation or some other skill, to I don't know if it's going to be like mask your voice or like trying not to give away the game.
Conversation works.
Okay.
Ignore all the dice. 13.
13. Yeah, you think you did a pretty good job.
Cool,
I mean, you won't know the results of that until she reacts, but yeah, that's I think what you do on your way back.
So yeah, I just make that call, hang up, chuck that phone off somewhere else,
and
yeah, that's it.
All right.
And I think Huck, you would know that your deal is you need to return it before the bounty, before the public knows, and you can't let people in the public know how dangerous it is. But technically, the people who bought it already know. This is like, you just can't do a story. You can't let someone do a story on it, or it can't look like you did.
Right.
Sorry, Dion.
Good thing we don't have a media in the party.
Well, I mean, on the alternate, the only trouble for us would be if she knew it was us who got the information out.
I don't know if she would necessarily care if it was us or not, if it got out.
Yeah. I mean, if you could make a clear fake trail to someone else.
I don't think that would be Huckabee's strong suit.
Yeah, but I mean, Dion or Fox might be able to do that, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but even then she'd know that, the information got out and it was in our hands. So it would, at the very least, make us look incompetent to some degree.
That's true. But yeah, what I would like Doc to do, if you're going to call or leave a message to Jane, to be like, hey, we don't need to pay you.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I worked out a deal with the Golden Agers. They don't need a refund.
Yeah, that would be some kind of persuasion. Just we'll do this very quick because there's one last thing I want to get to before we're done here.
Right. 13.
13. Wow, more 13s. She's pretty amenable to that. She still wants sort of like some information on how do we not get hurt if this gets on the market. But
I can agree to that.
Yeah, and so yeah, the last thing I would like to do is sort of the night that this all happens, as you're all back. I would like you to start sort of your preliminary check on the cyberware and what it is. You have a much better equipment for figuring this thing out that doesn't rely on its self-reporting. So I'm gonna say that you have a. Yeah, I'm gonna say if Lynx wants to roll, you can get him a +1 on top of the +1 that he already has from analyzing it well before.
Okay. All right, will do. So I guess I'll just roll cyber tech.
Yes. 22. That's gonna be good enough. I'm gonna give him a +2 to that. I think that you effectively managed to, without damaging it or without even like opening it up in a way that would even break the like terms of service. You managed to place extra like wires and sensors into there of like, this is where we will really get the real information.
Okay.
So yeah, you have a, I guess now +3 to this without using any luck.
Okay. So it's 19 in total. Yeah, we should have let her look at this.
So yeah, I think this is something that only you could do though, like to this extent. Her cyber tech skill is not the same as yours since you are the med tech.
Well, I also have biology knowledge. So
yeah, and I think that's going to be super useful. Is when you start looking at this thing and start really feeding the power and trying to analyze what kind of radiation this is, and you have it all set up, there's a few things that become readily apparent to you. For one, the appearance of this sphere is 100% a lie. It is definitely not some sort of biological agent like you thought it was. It is probably a nuclear reactor, like a miniature one.
Fantastic.
It's not the kind of thing that if it breaks, it'll like obliterate a building, but if it broke, like that person is gone, and like that room is going to need to be scrubbed for radiation like very quickly. This is some high-end stuff. There's a second thing you notice though, is that there is something in that sphere behind the instead of the
reactor.
I guess with the reactor, and there's also like other weird capsules throughout this thing, and it slowly is revealed to you. There's like motion in there that you're like, this is uncomfortable, and you put it through some like various X-rays and various trying to analyze what's in it, and you even do like a sound like analysis, trying to be like, what is the shape of this thing making this noise? And there are, and you're very worried when you realize this, a bunch of micro machines at various places in this, and these capsules are designed to pump those into the person that puts this in them. And
Do I know
you are
for what purpose?
uh,
Or was I not able to figure that out immediately?
no, I think this goes late into the night. The more you look at this, the more you're worried, because this is a check that takes a while, and it's somewhere late into the night that you realize, yeah, the power in this thing wouldn't cause more cyberpsychosis. That feels like just like bad medical knowledge. That's not what causes it. Although the power would accidentally fry some of your cyberware if it wasn't properly shielded, like I said. And you manage to grab one of these micro machines just artificially, and you look at it and you see how it interacts with technology, and you think this will cause it on purpose.
Oh.
And that's when you realize that this is a hardware version of the exact thing we were joking about, where if you put this on when you're not authorized, it will shut the rest of you down. It will drive you crazy for daring to buy one of their things without like re-upping your Rocklin subscription.
It's safety wear?
It is the most violent, invasive, dangerous safety wear that has ever existed.
Jesus fucking Christ, Cyberpunk. God damn it.
And you know what? And now you suddenly realize, wait, who else had this? These things are self-replicating.
Oh, fuck.
Double fuck.
And you're like, this is now a
Daddy,
huge
Golden Ages.
problem. And I think that's where we're going to end.
Oh, joy. So we
Boy.
got
It's a
self-replicating crazy bots. Fantastic. Awesome. It's gonna
So-
be great.
I would like to crack the coding on this thing, but oh no.
I just wanted to make some
Yeah,
money off of it, and now I gotta fucking worry about people going crazy and shit. It's gonna cut into my profit margins.
I need to talk to
Mhm.
Oryx.
Yeah,
Hey, listen.
I don't know that like the stream has the session labeled, like what is this session called? I'm not seeing it on there, but yeah, I called this the Rocklin Incident Part 1. Part 1 for a reason.
Oh, I meant to put part. Well, I didn't want to put part 1 because I didn't know if he blow through it or anything. But I did name it the Rocklin. I didn't name the stream the Rocklin Incident. That's true. I did do that.
Yeah, so yeah, there's a reason this is a little bigger than you were led to believe.
So yeah.
And I'm glad that this worked out this way.
Yeah,
I'm honestly so happy as to how this went. This is very good.
No, this was a really fun session. I had a lot of fun here. A lot of fun setup. A lot of cool things got established. I think we're gonna have a really good time.
Despite the
going forward.
lack
Looking
of
forward to
shooting
this.
people.
Yeah,
And
honestly,
we
I
didn't
think
have to shoot anybody.
I think Cyberpunk leans into that more than some other systems of a balance between shoot or don't shoot.
Yeah, it's very much like, okay, all right, things just aren't combat heavy until they are.
Yeah.
Or it's like, all right,
Yeah.
everything's fine. But the moment you draw a gun and start shooting, like, okay, well, now it's a combat session. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, this was fun. Do we have any last second like announcements and things to make before?
Definitely wanted to shout out again to, was it TPK Roleplay?
Yes,
That,
no. Last shout out,
Yeah.
TPK Roleplay. Thank you guys so much for coming around and hanging out and for hosting us. TPK Roleplay makes
Says the
amazing
guy who works for
like
them.
tabletop gaming content. Everything from Dungeons and Dragons to other games. They run constant games all the time. I'm actually a member of the server. I play in a couple of the different campaigns. Speaking of which, because it's Sunday, they actually run their show called Total Party Recap, which I'm pretty sure goes live in like a couple hours. And that's where they recap all the different games they did throughout this week. And actually, I popped in for a session of their Rime of the Frost Maiden campaign. I popped in for one session of that and got to play a big funny robot. So if you want to hear more about that session or what other fun things they had going on this week, I will drop a link to their chat I'll drop a link to their stream in the chat. I think they go live at around 8 o'clock ish. But yeah, feel free to check them out. Tell them I sent you. You know. Other than that, any last minute plugs that people want to make, or should we do our outros and stuff?
I think that we'll just quick do the outros.
Sweet. So, I'll start. thanks so much for coming by, for chatting, everybody. We had an awesome stream. Thank you for the hosts and the talks and everything. If you need to find me on Twitter, you can find me at Young Foxy. That's Young with no O _ FOXXII. I talk shit about right-wing people a lot and am occasionally funny. Other than that, you can follow the game Twitter, but we'll plug that towards the end. So yeah, you can find me at twitter.com /Young Foxy. And we'll head over to Dion next.
Hi, I'm Joe. I stream sometimes. I don't really make music much at the moment, but
When he does, it's real good.
He does make pretty good stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, I stream at Joe Hate Club. That's my thing on most things except Twitter. I think.
What's your Twitter?
Oh, I don't like saying it out loud because it's dumb.
It's funny. I think your Twitter's great.
It's at Impact Font Joe.
All one word, no underscores.
Yep. Appreciate it.
All right, Dan, you're up.
All right. I'm Dan. I exist on Twitter and don't do much. But you can follow me at LandTheDan, all one word. It's mostly food, pictures, and wrestling, and the occasional comment about Ken Jennings, apparently.
I have a lot up on you.
Someone messaged me during the stream and was just like, "No, you don't understand."
Yeah, I don't know. For people who aren't aware, / the most of us who don't follow Dan on Twitter, Dan, I think, has like 20, 30 Twitter followers max. But he made one random tweet about like Ken Jennings and Wheel of Fortune and got like a gajillion responses from like angry boomers just like screaming at him.
How dare you, Ken Jennings is a master. Whatever.
All right, I'm Michelle, and I don't exist on social media, so don't bother.
The real Netrunner is out of system.
Yeah, if you need to get Michelle social media wise, just hit me up and I'll yell at her on Discord.
It works.
It does work. It's effective, actually. Believe it or not. Just be like, hey, Foxy, can you tell Michelle that she's great? And I'll be like, hey, this person on Twitter said you're great. So there you go.
We all still love her, even if we can't follow her directly and know her every thought via Twitter.
Of course. And of course, we have one last person to shout out, who we wouldn't be here without.
Oh, I think it's
Ryuzaki.
Oh, I'm just here to run a game, honestly. But yeah, I'm Tate Washburn. You can follow me at kinda_writing on Twitter. That's basically it. I will eventually get on other platforms. But yeah, what you really should do is follow us at Neon NC Lights on Twitter, because that's where game stuff is going to happen.
Yeah, definitely. That's the most important thing to do. If you don't follow any of us, which is fine because we can be kind of boring sometimes, definitely follow at Neon NC Lights on Twitter. That's our game channel. Any and all updates on stream stuff will get posted there. Stay tuned, guys. We have so much fun stuff planned. Some off-week streams where we do like some non-cyberpunk content. Maybe we'll all hang out and play some video games or whatever. I'm also no schedule on this yet, but I am running a D&D one-shot, 5th edition, which will include 6 characters, 3 of which are people who are literally in this call right now. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. A lot of fun things are gonna happen.
You should show up anyway.
Yeah, so totally do that. Stay tuned. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Follow us here on Twitch. Look out for us again in 2 weeks or earlier. And thank you guys so much. Be safe. Keep each other close. Stay healthy. And fuck the government, I guess.
Stay cyberpunk.
Yeah, there you go. Love you guys so much, all right? Bye, guys. Bye, babies.
Bye.